are the rules and regulations of the Real Estate Commission, the Administrative Code, also known as?
Title 11, Chapter 5.
Title 11, Chapter 5, correct. And what are the 4 license types? All righty, so page 18, broker and salesperson, independent contractor agreement. Oh, no, this is the wrong slide. How we skip forward so far? Okay. So the different forms, we have the CIS form, that's a consumer information statement. We got the informed consent to dual agency. That's now where the person will give us, the client will give us implicit permission to act in that regard as a dual agent. The opinion 26 notice, which needs to be the cover page of any contract that's prepared by licensees. And what kind of properties can licensees prepare contracts for?
Residential properties.
And what is residential? 1 to 4 family and single vacant residential lots, right?
Right, yeah.
Right.
We got the Attorney General's Memorandum, which is a document that's about the New Jersey laws against discrimination that must be given to the owner at the time we get a listing. We're going to go over that one in Chapter 4 when we start talking about all the different types of discrimination that are out there. That's what the Chapter 4 is about, discrimination. But let me see, that was Attorney General's Memorandum. Let's see if I got one of them handy here. I have this in the shared Google Drive in the supplemental folder for you guys, because the version of the Attorney General's Memorandum in the book, even though it was printed in the same year, 2020, this one came out just after publication of the book, what you're seeing here in front of you. This one came out in October 2020.
Oh, wow. It just came out.
Mm-hmm. So I got my hands on it for you, and I've got it this one in the shared Google Drive. This is the document that has to be given to the property owner at the time we get a listing. It basically tells them that they can't discriminate if they're offering their property for sale or lease. Like it says, New Jersey Real Estate Commission, the REC, requires every licensed broker or salesperson with whom you list your property to give you a copy of this notice. Purpose is to help you comply with the New Jersey law against discrimination. Under the LAD, it's illegal to discriminate against prospective or current buyer or tenant because of any actual or perceived race, because of actual or perceived race, national origin, religion, gender identity or expression, marital status, civil union status, domestic partner status, affectional or sexual orientation, familial status, pregnancy or breastfeeding, physical or mental disability, or liability for services in the armed forces of the United States. It's also illegal to discriminate against any prospective or current buyer or tenant because of any lawful income that's to be used for rental or mortgage. Basically, this document goes on and on and on. We're going to go over this in detail in Chapter 4, but it basically tells the property owner that they cannot discriminate. Okay. Now, how come we only have to give it to the owner and not to the buyers or renters?
Because the owners are the
ones selling their property.
Yeah, and
Okay.
they're the ones that decide who they want in their property. They're who they want.
So what, buyers can discriminate?
Well, they're not the ones selling their property.
No, so they could know not to
They're the ones
discriminate.
that's
That's not what I asked.
They're in need. So the buyer is in need. The seller.
Can buyers and renters, since you only have to give this to the owner, can buyers and renters discriminate?
Yeah.
They can.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah, anybody can.
They can. They could choose where and who they want to live next to, right? Buyers can discriminate till they're blue in the face, right? It's the owner. If you're offering your property for sale or rent, you cannot discriminate.
Right. Right.
That's why we have to give this notice to the owner,
Right.
because whether they hire us or not, we need to inform them of what the law is. Okay. So yes, buyers and renters can discriminate. They could choose where and who they want to live near.
True.
Okay. But an owner who's selling their property or offering it for rent, they cannot choose who they're going to sell it or rent it to based off of any of the protected classes. Okay. And they keep expanding the protected classes. I mean, even when we went over there, it says actual or perceived, you know, even if somebody's not a protected class, if you think they are, they're now a protected class. You know, basically it says just try to treat everybody fair, you know. So the Attorney General's memorandum has to be given to who?
The seller.
I'm going to say the owner, okay, because that would say the seller, or what if they were acting as a landlord, you know?
The owner.
But yeah, the seller, the owner.
Yeah.
Okay. We also have the lead paint addendum, which we haven't gone into yet, because I'm just going over this stuff now because a lot of people ask me, is there a list of all the forms you got to give to people? No, because not all forms got to be given to everybody, but these ones do. Actually, not even really. But these are the more common ones. CIS, first document you give to anyone. Then you got to give the informed consent to dual agency, because undisclosed dual agency is illegal. We have to disclose if our agency is representing both parties in a transaction. We got the opinion 26 notice, has to be the cover page of any contract we prepare. When we get a listing, we got to give the owner the copy of the Attorney General's memorandum. And then if a property is built prior to 1978, we got to give them the lead paint hazard addendum that's filled out by the owner first. And then we give it to the potential buyer or tenant. Okay, so we'll go over this stuff in later chapters, but this is just a little list of some of those documents that we give. All right, forms and disclosures. That waiver of broker cooperation, we already read through it. I gave you an example of it there, and I showed you the form. We actually read the form a little while ago. Basically says that license law requires all agents share their listing inventory with each other. That's how we cooperate with each other. So when we get a listing, we got to put it in the MLS how soon? Within 48 hours.
Yeah.
And unless who tells us not to?
The seller, the owner.
The owner. Only if the owner tells us not to. And then we got to cover our butts by getting them to sign.
What is that? Opinion 26, is it?
No.
Look. In front of you on the screen.
Oh no, opinion 26 is the law thing.
Look in front of you on the screen.
I'm looking.
The waiver?
The waiver of broker cooperation agreement.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it's called. But only if the owner requests it. We're not to introduce this form to people without them telling us that they don't want us to cooperate.
Right.
Okay, we're not trying to get that secret pocket listing by shoving a paper in front of their face and getting them to sign it and not explain it to them. We need to get them. We only give them this form if they request that they don't want us to cooperate with other people. Then we pull up the form to try to protect ourselves because the licensing law requires us to cooperate, right?
COA. No, CYA.
CYA, cover your butts, right? Okay. So under, let's see, other documents. So under other documents, we're going to highlight the broker must keep copies of all unaccepted offers. This is on page 18. The broker must keep copies of all unaccepted offers to purchase for 6 months from the date of initial offer. All copies of contracts and sale listing agreements must be kept for 6 years. Remember that, that's that record keeping requirement. So you highlighted that. Now, all bills for brokerage services, records, etc., all that stuff got to be kept for 6 years as well. All records and files must be available for inspection at any time by the commission, and they always remain the property of the broker. Highlight, salespersons may not remove anything from the broker's files if they leave that broker. Plus, remember that if you got a listing, can you take that with you if you leave and you go to a different agency?
No.
No. Why? Because
'Cause
it's
it
belongs
not
to
your
the
listing.
broker.
It's the broker's listing.
Right.
You got that listing while working for that broker. You procured that business for them. All right. So the next paragraph, broker business relationships. That next paragraph talks about the CIS form. So what I did is I just put a bracket around the next paragraph with my highlighter, and I wrote sideways next to it. Look, so I got it here, and I wrote sideways next to it, CIS form, page 43 and 44. See that?
Okay.
And we already went over that CIS form. Then listing broker and seller as the principal. This talks about the waiver of broker cooperation agreement, which we just went over. Go down to the second paragraph and at the end of that paragraph, we're going to highlight anytime a seller directs a broker not to cooperate, the licensee must have the seller sign a waiver of broker cooperation. And then beneath that, on page 18, going to page 19, is the actual waiver of broker cooperation form. So you could either highlight or underline the title, and then I just put a box around it. You see what I did? So here it is. I highlighted and underlined the title. I put a box around it, which continues on to the next page, the first half of this page. And I put a box around this whole part of the page because that's the form. That's the actual waiver of broker cooperation form. And now we have the broker and buyer as principal. This is all this stuff actually I went over a while ago. We got the seller's agent, buyer's agent, disclosed dual agent, transaction broker. That's going over all that stuff, which we already went over. So just turn the page. We're on page 20 now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So when we went over the buyer's agency, disclosed dual agency, seller's agency, transaction broker. I got some of these things a little bit out of order here. Just trying to get them together. All right. If you're working with a seller, what keeps them loyal to you that they're only going to work with you as their agent?
The contract.
What do we call the contract that the seller fills out?
Oh, the
Is it the CIS form?
is it not CIS?
No, CIS is the consumer information statement. It's just a disclosure of how we could work with them, and we give that to everybody. What would prevent a seller from working with multiple agents? They only hire one agent to sell their property, to market their property.
Is it
We have a listing agreement.
listing broker and seller principal?
No, we have a listing agreement.
Oh, listing.
Scanning the book for the answer. You're not going to find it. I'm just asking you to use your head here.
Oh, okay.
We got to have some kind of a contract with them, a listing contract, where they hire us to be their exclusive marketing
Exclusive.
representative to market their home for sale, right? That's
Mhm.
going to be a listing. We call that a listing agreement. So that listing contract is how we work exclusively with a seller. They're not going to hire 3 companies to market their home for a sale at the same time and then have to pay 3 companies a commission when it sells. They hire 1. So we know that they're going to be loyal working with 1 company. Now, how does that work with a buyer? Buyers don't have to be loyal and work with 1 agent. They could, a lot of times they work with several agents in different areas. Sometimes they think you got to call the listing agent and always work with the listing agent when they don't. So you get buyers that work with multiple agents sometimes. They're not loyal to you. You want to work with somebody like that?
No.
You're spending the time looking for interviewing them, getting them
Yeah, get a
pre-approved
contract.
for a mortgage. You're going through all this stuff with them. Then you're trying to interview them, giving them tips. Then you're going to be searching for homes that meet their criteria, setting up appointments, showing them properties. And then they could end up going and putting an offer in with somebody else.
Mhm. Mhm.
You want to work with somebody like that who's going to be cheating on you?
Nope.
Hey, that's an appropriate way to put it, because aren't they cheating on you?
Not if you know about it.
Eh, well, that's your fault then,
Right.
for letting it happen,
That's true.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Contract, right?
do you want to work with somebody who's coming to you and says, I want you to do a lot of work and help me find a home, and I'm going to be cheating on you, by the way?
No. No.
Oh,
That's
right? You the only one? Everybody okay with that?
no.
Wow. All right. Well, anyway, they can waste their time. I'm not gonna, because I'm telling you what, you're gonna be wasting a lot of time showing buyers properties, getting them pre-approved, pre-qualified, all that stuff, running them around like a chicken with your head cut off, and there's no end game on it. You're not making any money at the end of the day. You ain't getting lucky. Right? You ain't making the money. So I don't want to go through all that effort and get nothing out of it, right? So I don't want to work with buyers that tell me that they're going to be cheating on me. How can I prevent it? Because there's nothing that would prevent them. You know, with a seller, they sign a listing contract. You know, they got to pay you if the property sells. It's a legally binding contract. Well, when I'm working with a buyer, I like to get them to sign what we call an exclusive buyer agency agreement. Okay? It's not going to prevent them from cheating on you, but it could at least help a little bit, because you would be owed a commission if a property you introduced them to and you did the most work on, if that property sells, you'd be owed the commission on it. All right. If you're the agent that did the most work in that transaction. So how do you try to prove that you did the most work? Well, we could start off by, at the beginning of our relationship, I'm going to get you to sign a form that says, I'm not with anybody else, right? I'm not with another agent. I'm not working with anybody else. Wouldn't that be common sense would tell you that? Well, we actually got a form like that. That's called the Exclusive Buyers Agency Agreement. I'm going to pull one up, a sample. Here we go. This is the Exclusive Buyers Agency Agreement form. Okay, you fill out your buyer's information here, the name of your brokerage firm.
Where's that?
Sorry. Exclusive buyer agency agreement form. Okay, you fill out the agency, you fill out the buyer's information, you put out the brokerage name here. Over here, you put down all the municipalities that you're working with, that you're going to be showing them properties in. But you know what? New Jersey you could have many municipalities in a small area. I don't write down municipalities. I write down all the county names
Mhm.
where I'm going to be working with them.
Mm.
And then isn't this an important question to ask them? Does the buyer have a business relationship with another broker? Wouldn't you want to know that from the beginning?
Yep.
Yes.
And ask. All right. And before you ask the question, know what your response is going to be. What if they tell you, yeah, I'm working with another broker? I'm working with another agent.
Hmm.
Then you could tell them that if it's okay for you to also be their agent, if you want to.
All right. So let me ask you the question again. So before we even get to this one, do you want to work with somebody, a buyer, who's going to be cheating on you and working with other agents too?
Mm-mm.
No.
But you could
See,
send
you're
them
the only one that's
listings.
giving that
like-
answer though. And I want that answer from everybody.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if it doesn't take too much time, like if just sending them listings, and if they decide to come with me and purchase a property, then it was.
Well, how do you know that?
But yeah,
Yeah,
because you're
I'll-
gonna
I'll
go with
send
the
them.
other person, and I done used all my gas money and
So you could be
Or
setting up the
running
appointments,
around.
running them around, showing them properties. And look, setting up the appointments in itself is a pain in the neck. You got to be making phone calls and calling people, calling up the real estate companies, setting up the appointments with the sellers and all that stuff, following up to make sure that the appointment has been confirmed. You know, then you got to plot your course here. If you're going to be showing them more than one house in a day, you know, if you're going to be doing a tour of homes, you got to put it up now like on Google Maps or something and try to set your course so you're not going from this house to that side of town, to that side of town, to that side of town again, and fighting traffic the whole way. You want to plot that course so it's a nice, you know, and so you got to time it right and set those appointments up according properly. That's a lot of work, you know. And then if you can't get that appointment for a certain time, now you got to go back and try to reroute your route, you know. That's a lot of work just setting that stuff up. And then you're taking them out and showing them the houses, fighting through the traffic, using your gas and time. Time is money, right?
Yeah.
But there's no guarantee that you're going to get paid unless you close on a
Agreed to.
transaction.
So how do
So
you
you're gonna
tell them, like,
So you're going to spend all your time with them, and they're telling you outright, I may not buy this property through you.
I'm just
I'm wasting your time and having you run me around and show me properties, but I'm not telling you that I'm going to work only with you. I may put the offer in with another agent. That's basically what they're saying when they're saying, I'm not working just with you, I'm working with somebody else too.
So what do? We say, okay, well, thank you for your business.
I don't know. What do you do?
I'm not, I don't want to take that.
When you decide you
How do-
would like for me to work with you exclusively, then we can do business. Other than that,
Okay.
no.
Yeah, like,
You have to
Hermat,
make
Hermat, what would you do?
I'll give them an option, like saying, hey, I'll send you some listings, but I'm not gonna take you there unless you make me your exclusive.
Okay, so it's one thing just sending them, emailing them some stuff, but now setting up the appointments and showing them the properties and all that. But you know what? I don't even want to waste my time searching for you and setting up even an automatic search if I know that you're not going to be working exclusive with me. Why am I going to waste 2 seconds of my time with you?
so let me ask you, Mr. Victor, what can I do to persuade you to come with me?
Hold on a second. Let me ask you. You want me to work with you, right? I'm the buyer. You want me to work with you?
Right?
Before we start talking about this, aren't you supposed to talk to me about something? Aren't you supposed to give me some kind of disclosure or something?
Yep.
Yes, I am.
What's that?
That's what's
I'm giving you the CIS
the CIS form.
Okay, and so what's that telling me?
that we are entering into a contract.
No, CIS is not a
It's
contract.
not a contract. It's an agreement, maybe.
So
It's just a
okay,
disclosure of agency relationships and how your company could work with me as a buyer's agent, a seller's agent, a disclosed dual agent, or a transaction broker. All right. All right. So at that time now, after you give that to them, why not now? Now, the next step, the next order of business, let's talk about an exclusive buyer's agency agreement. Basically, this says that you're going to be only working with me. But before we start off with that, I'm not going to explain it like that at the beginning. I'll just do this at the beginning. I'm going to say, here's the exclusive buyer's agency agreement. All right. In here, this is going to be showing, I'm asking you some questions. First of all, we're starting off and asking, are you currently working with another broker? All right. Answer me. Are you working with another broker?
I am working with another broker.
And what are you doing here?
Trying to print your services.
I'm new
Wait,
at
hold on a second. You notice how I didn't say anything afterwards? You notice that awkward moment that was there?
Mm-hmm.
You could use that awkward silence to your advantage. In sales, sometimes you guys got to learn when to shut your mouth and just let the silence and that awkwardness, somebody's going to want to break that silence. You want them to, because you're waiting for an answer.
Mm-hmm.
If you open your mouth,
That's
that's
good.
like, okay, you don't need to answer that question. We can move on to the next topic.
Right.
Okay. I just asked you, so what are you doing here?
Mhm.
Requires an answer.
Right. Well, I'm new at buying property, and I'm just trying to feel my way through to see.
Well, isn't your agent helping you? You said you're working with another agent. Aren't they helping you? Are you not happy with that agent? If you're not happy with that agent and you don't want to work with them, that's a different story altogether. If that's the case, I'm going to have you write a letter right now to them that you no longer want to work with them. And then you're going to date it and you're going to sign it. We're going to send it over to them right now. And then we're going to wait 3 days before I start working with you. An agent cannot solicit the business of another broker. Harder to prove with a buyer's agents though. But one thing I could do is when you tell me you're working with another broker, I'm going to make sure you fire them. You're basically saying, hey, I'm not working with you no more. Boom. Now I can now I keep a copy of that file. I'm going to keep a copy of that on my record here. And now I'm going to have you sign this exclusive buyer agency agreement that basically says that you're not working with anybody else. I'm going to have you check off here on this form. Does the buyer have a business relationship with another broker? Now, what is it going to be?
No.
No.
Because if you check off yes, then I'm going to ask again, why are you here?
Right.
But that's only if they sign this with the other broker, right?
Well, you know, people often have answers to that. Oh, because, you know, I heard it's better to always, I always only work with the listing company because you got a better chance of getting your offer accepted if you work with the listing company. No, you don't. If any agent tells you that, that's an unethical thing to do. Because agents are not allowed to disclose any other offers that come on to the that are on this property. If I'm the listing agent and there's multiple offers on it, I can't go telling somebody who's working with me that wants to put an offer in that's a buyer. I can't tell them what the other offers are on the table. And any agent that tells you that you get that advantage because I know what the other offers are and I'll tell you, basically keep your offer above that, that's unethical. They could lose their license for that too. All right. That's an unethical thing to do because you're not supposed to disclose any other offers that are on the table. You could just say, hey, we got other offers on the table, but I can't tell you what they are. I can't put one party's interest above the other. I can't disclose one party's offer, their contract, so that I could just get you to put a higher offer so I could get your business there too. Can't do that. All right. So an agent that tells you that, I wouldn't want to work with them to begin with, because obviously they're telling you up front, I'm an unethical agent and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get your business, to get your sale, even if it screws you over.
Wow.
Because I really don't care about the law, obviously. Isn't that what they're saying without actually the words coming out of their mouth?
You're right.
You know? So I'll tell that to. I have no qualms if you're the buyer and you want to work with me. I got no qualms in telling you that verbatim, just like I just said. Right? Keeping it real, right? Keeping it real sometimes like that, it just works. You know, I'm being one-to-one here with you. I'm being honest with you. This is the way it is, you know? If you don't believe me in anything, then why are you here? Why you want to work with me anyway if you don't believe me?
Right.
You know? So this is the way I operate. I'm going to tell you the way it is. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, because I'm going to tell you the way that it is. And that would be an agent that's operating unethically. Look, I'm going to be working in your best interest. I'm going to disclose everything that I'm supposed to disclose, and I'm going to keep my mouth shut about things that you tell me in confidence that I'm not supposed to tell. You know, you think that other agent's not going to just try to drive your price up so that they could get more on commission?
Maya and Tiffany, you guys in school, right?
You know? No. So you gotta explain to them how you're doing things the right way is a good thing. Now, sometimes they may tell you, well, you know what? Sometimes they may tell you, well, I'm working with another agent because this is in a different area. I don't know what areas you cover. Okay, well, that may be legitimate. Well, where are you looking? Because I cover pretty much the North Central Jersey area. I cover like down to Ocean County as well, but I really don't go below that. So if you're looking like in Cape May, I could refer you to an agent down there, but I really don't, I'm not driving all the way down to Cape May. I don't do the Cape May area, okay? I'm not familiar with it. I'm not a member of that MLS down there. So I don't have really the tools and the resources to properly serve you. But in the North Central Jersey, I do. So I'll show you any of the areas anywhere in North Central Jersey, all those counties. Okay, that's why I'm not writing down the town names here. You know, we got 550 municipalities in New Jersey. I'm not writing down 550 municipality names here, right? So I'll just write down the counties that I'll cover. You know, where are you looking? Okay, if they're all areas that I cover, you only need to work with me. I could show you all the properties in those areas. You don't need to be explaining to 10 different agents what your needs are, what it is that you like and what you don't like, and give your mortgage pre-qualification and working on pre-approvals, and then dealing with emails and phone calls from multiple agents who are trying to figure out what it is that you like and what you're looking for, the features you want, the features you don't want, the reasons behind your move, and explaining yourself over and over and over again. You can just talk to me. Right here, talk to me. I'll be your agent. I could show you any property, doesn't matter who it's listed by. Did you know that? I could show you any property. I don't need to be the listing agency. My company doesn't need to be. And I could show you properties, doesn't matter what company listed it. You know, a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people think that they got to go to the listing company in order to see the property. You know, you have to explain to them, I could show you any property, doesn't matter what company listed it, because I have access to the MLS. This is how agents cooperate with each other to share their listing inventory so that they can sell it quicker and at a higher price, because there's the possibility of more people coming in with offers. And if you get a bidding war, the prices go up, right? So you could only work with me. You only need to work with me, and I could provide you the better service than having to work with multiple agents. All right. So this is an important discussion to have. Otherwise, you guys could find yourself wasting a lot of time. So I'm going to ask him there. And then it says declaration of business relationships. Once again, I'm working as a buyer's agent or disclosed dual agent. And the term, what am I going to put down here for the term? I'm going to put down 1 year. I don't know how long it's going to take you to find you a home, but I hope I find you one tomorrow that you put an offer in. But I'm going to put down 1 year here. Well, look at this. There's a 3-day receipt here. It says, shall expire midnight of the date of, or 3 days after receipt of the buyer's agent of a written termination. So this is why I asked them, if you said that you're working with another agent, we're going to send them a letter and then we're going to wait 3 days. Because if you give them 3 days in writing that you're not working with them anymore, just in case you signed an exclusive buyer agency agreement with them, you could terminate it. Okay. But you're going to have an issue if I end up showing a home and we put an offer in on a property that they also showed you. you may have a little bit of an issue, or I may have a little bit of an issue on there, because they could file a complaint against me for that they did most of the work. They showed the property. Okay. But the more work that I do in the transaction, they showed you the property. And if I put the offer in, who's due the commission?
You are.
Repeat that question.
You put the
All right,
offer.
here, let me word it another way. Let's word this another way. If I'm a buyer's agent and I'm working with a buyer and I showed them a property and then they put an offer in with another agent, am I owed the commission? Or are they owed the commission?
You're owed the commission. You did
If
the
I
work.
find out about it and I put a complaint in immediately against the other agent. But the longer I wait, or just say maybe it's not me waiting, but I just don't know. But the more work that other agent does in the transaction, the more they become what we call the procuring cause. They're the one who procured the sale and therefore is owed the commission. So as we could see on the slide here, an exclusive buyer agency agreement helps establish our agency relationships. We owe our clients certain fiduciary duties, those legal responsibility. Now, signing this exclusive buyer agreement helps establish evidence in the event there's a dispute between two buyers agents as to who's owed the commission. That's the one who's owed the commission is called the procuring cause because they did the most work to procure the sale. So therefore, they're the one that's owed the commission. So when two buyers agents are in dispute as to who's owed the commission, the one who could prove they did the most work leading up to the sale is the procuring cause of the sale. But it's difficult to prove. But you can help start establishing your evidence by having that buyer sign an exclusive buyer agency agreement that says that you're the only agent that they were working with. And you have to file this complaint with the Realtors Association. Why? Because the Real Estate Commission, what's their job? To enforce licensing law and their rules and regulations, right? And what's the purpose of licensing law?
Protect
To protect who?
the consumer.
To protect the general public from unscrupulous brokers. It's not to mediate arguments between two bickering agents as to who's owed the commission. That's what the Realtors Association is for. They will mediate. So what do you think we call the complaint that we file? It's called the procuring cause complaint. So as an exam question, when two agents are in dispute as to who's owed, when two buyers agents are in dispute as to who's owed the commission, who is owed the commission? The one who did the most work leading up to the sale. And what do we call them?
Procuring cause.
They're the procuring cause. Boom. That's it. All right. Let me close out that exclusive buyer agency agreement I got open there.
Even if the other didn't sign, she didn't sign with the other broker and signed with you, it's still, you still,
Yeah. Who's owed the commission? The agent that did the most work. So as of now, I may have just showed you the property. Well, if I find out immediately and I file the complaint that there's another agent involved, I did the most work here, setting up the appointments, getting you pre-approved, all that stuff. And then the other agent, they just put in the contract. But they put in the contract, it goes through attorney review, they order the inspections, the appraisals, they address any issues or problems that come up. The more work that other agent does, the more they become the procuring cause of the sale. That's why I say right here in this slide, let me back it up. It's difficult to prove.
even if she signed with you, that's crazy.
Well, because there's no listing contract. There's no contract that says you owe me the money if you buy a house.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You only owe me the money if you buy the house through me, if I did the most work.
Yeah.
You know, but if you're dealing with a seller, We have a contract that says, hey, you can only work with me. You can't work with other agents. You can only work with me. And look, even if you do work with another agent, I'm still owed this commission on this contract.
Yeah.
And if you hire another agent, and you work with another agent too, well, I don't care. You probably have a sign a contract with them and pay them commission, but you still need to pay me too, because my listing agreement says that you owe me this commission if the property sells while the listing is still in effect. If it didn't expire yet and the property sells, I don't care who brings the buyer, I'm still owed the commission. So what the hell do I care if you cheat on me? You're still going to pay. If you don't, I'm going to sue you. Because I have a contract and I'm in the right. But buyer's agent doesn't have those protections. The best you could do is try to put an exclusive buyer agency agreement in place and explain to them that this agreement helps establish my fiduciary duties to you, these legal responsibilities that I owe to you when I'm serving as your agent. You know, we have these fiduciary duties. There's an acronym called COLD to remember them. You know, care, obedience, accounting, loyalty, and disclosure. These are the legal responsibilities I have to you as your agent. This also is a contract in that you are saying that you're only going to be working with me exclusively as your agent, as the buyer. Okay. So hopefully that also scared them a little bit, thinking that they signed a contract with you, you know, and so that they don't, you know, wander off with someone else. Sounds like we're dating, isn't it? Talking about all this cheating and wandering off and wanting them to be loyal. Well, it is a relationship.
Yes, a relationship. It is. Yeah.
You know. So if you think about things like this, you can have a little fun with this business too, you know, and it's easier to understand if you could relate, you know. Think about things like relationships, you know. Do you want your clients cheating on you? No, I'm not going to cheat on you. I'm going to be loyal to you, but I want you to be loyal to me too. Is that asking too much? You know, you can even have that conversation with them, you know, and if somebody's overhearing it, they can mistake it and think you guys are dating or something. You know,
I have that conversation with them now, because somebody really would think that and put that stuff in people's heads.
You know what though? I want them to think in that regard. You know,
it is a relationship.
Cheat on you.
It's a business relationship.
Yeah, it is a relationship. It's just a business relationship, though.
Yeah.
All right. Now, let's talk a little bit about broker and salesperson relationship between the broker and their employee or independent contractor, because you're not going to be an employee. Employees get W-2s at the end of the year, right? Independent contractors get 1099. You know what difference is between a W-2 and a 1099?
Yeah.
Self-employed, and the other one is.
Okay, but that's the basic understanding of it, but what's the real difference between them?
One pays your taxes, the other you're responsible for paying your taxes.
Yeah, an independent contractor with the 1099, no taxes have been taken out. Your employer, so to speak, did not take out any taxes in the pay that they gave you.
Right.
So you still have to pay taxes on that money at the end of the year. They paid you the gross amount. Whereas if you're an employee, you get W-2'd, they already took taxes out. Okay, so that's the difference there. So as an independent contractor, I keep telling you guys, you got to keep track of your expenses so that you could lower the amount that you need to pay the tax man at the end of the year.
Right.
You know, any expenses you have can be used to reduce your taxable income. So that's why I say keep track of all your expenses: class, licensing fees, testing fees, membership in MLSs, any of that stuff, lockbox, Supra key contracts, all that stuff. That's all expenses, which I just paid mine yesterday. I paid my, I was a little bit late in paying it, but I paid my realtor dues yesterday. I paid like $425 in realtor dues yesterday.
Fuel receipts, there was that fuel too.
Yeah. So, yeah, they were due on January 1st. I'm a little late, but that's all right. They'll accept my money.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
Okay, so let's see, independent contractor employment agreement, you're going to be signing them when you start working with that broker. So before they send your paperwork into the state to activate your license for the first time, the paperwork you get from PSI says that you have signed an independent contractor employment agreement with that agent. I know I have one right here. Hold on a second. Show this. Let's see if I got a copy of the paperwork I send into the state here. I'm just looking amongst some of my paperwork.
You looking for the booklet?
No, I'm looking for a paperwork from the state or from PSI. Oh, no, it's Realtor Due stuff. Oh, here we go. All right. See, I got a bunch of, don't want to show my agent's information, but I got a bunch of, here's a form from PSI here. Maybe at a distance, it'll be okay. I show a distance of a form that I get from PSI. Let me just blot out their information, even though it's not all listed there. All right. Dude, this isn't that viewable anyway, but when you make a copy of the paperwork that the PSI testing center gives you, it says that void all over it. You know, you can't just make a regular copy of it, but the broker has to sign off, and they're checking off somewhere here that they signed it, that they filled out an independent contractor agreement with you. By signing there, you're affirming to that.
Is that for them to have your license sent over to them?
This is, yeah, in order to affiliate with your office.
Yeah.
This is the paperwork you get from PSI. The guy's picture's here, but look, you can barely see it's like black and white, you know.
You can't see.
Yeah, it's a big smudge, right? Yeah, I mean, I don't even need to put this on there. You're not making out his face. I can't make it out. I can't even make out his face. You know, so I don't need to cover it. But on here, you know, I got to put down the license numbers and all that. I got to put down what type of license type he's applying for, salesperson or referral agent. Now this one signed up with my referral agency. Now, in this paragraph section in here, the wording in here is so damn small, so you're not going to be able to see it here. But basically, it's affirming that by the broker signing this paperwork to send in for them to get their license, you're confirming that they have signed an independent contractor employment agreement with the agent. All right. That's what I was trying to show you, but you can't really see it. So
No, you can't see it.
But basically they have to do that. So one of the first steps before you even get your license, you got to sign an independent contractor employment agreement with your broker. Now there's two parts of that agreement. That there's a blank independent contractor agreement here in this book, but there's also two other addendums that are usually added, that have to be added to employment agreements: Addendum A and Addendum B. Addendum A basically states that how much the compensation rate paid to the salesperson while employed at that brokerage firm. And Addendum B would be like a commission schedule for compensation to be paid to a salesperson on transactions that they were working on in the event they left on during that transaction. Because they wouldn't be able to get paid the full commission on it because they didn't finish the work. So how much is the broker going to pay you for those transactions that you were working on that you never completed? That's what Addendum B covers. So that one's a little bit a longer form, but there's no, I can't show you one because they're all custom from one broker to the next, okay? It depends on how much work needed to be left on the transaction. That agent's not going to be able to finish that transaction. They're going to have to sign, the broker's going to have to assign another agent in their office to finish it because that agent no longer works at the brokerage firm, so they can't finish working there on that transaction. So the broker's going to have to assign another agent to finish the work. And if that was you, if you were the agent that I was assigning to finish someone else's transaction, would you do it for free?
Mm.
I'm doing nothing for free.
No, we don't work for free, right?
No.
So that's why that agent who left isn't going to get paid their full commission, because the broker's going to have to pay the agent who's taking over that transaction some of that commission, depending on how much work needed to be done will dictate how much they get and how much the other agent won't. You get why? Okay. Now, these are things that have to be included in the employment agreements. The broker promises to turn over monies due to the salesperson within 10 days after the commission is received or soon after the check clears. So, as an exam question, how long does the broker have to pay you when does the broker have to pay you your commission?
10
Within
days
the 10 days.
10 days of what?
after commission is
After
received.
the commission is, after he receives it.
So within 10 days after the commission is received, when's that happen? At the closing table, right?
Mm-hmm.
So within 10 days or as soon as the check clears.
Mm-hmm.
The broker doesn't got to pay you a commission unless they got the money,
Right.
right? So in the independent contractor agreement, that's how it's worded. Now, a lot of brokers will pay you because they'll already have money in their accounts. They're not going to wait the 10 days necessarily to pay you your commission, because the check that they get, you know, it's coming from an escrow account, and nobody's going to bounce it from their escrow account, because if they do, they're risking losing their licenses. You don't bounce money from escrow accounts. That means that you're mishandling people's money. You should have sufficient funds in that account. So the broker promises to turn over monies due to the salesperson within 10 days. That's an exam question, guys. And there has to be a provision that neither party can just unilaterally make changes to a contract on their own. Both parties have to make changes have to agree to any changes made on a contract, right? So your employment agreement, can your boss just make changes to the employment agreement without your approval?
No.
No. Just like any contract, both parties have to agree to any changes. Okay. And then final provision that the broker must provide to an agent a written account of all monies due to them after their termination within 30 days. All right, this is a good slide. I put everything together here. And let's look on the book. In the book, on page 20, after the first sentence there at the top of the page, we're going to write page 34, because that's where you could see a sample blank independent contractor employment agreement. Let me see if I have one here in my computer. I don't. I should download one. Not going to do it now, but I should download one. Just going to make a note. Page 20, what slide number is this? This is slide number 17. Chapter 2. All right. And then the next paragraph where it says, or the first bullet point, after the first bullet point, it says the compensation rate paid to the salesperson, whether it's straight salary, a commission split or whatever, just write addendum A after that, because that's describing what addendum A is to the employment agreement. It's like I have written here, addendum A. And then we're going to highlight the second bullet point that says a broker promises to turn over money due to the salesperson within 10 days or as soon as the check clears. And then the third bullet point, that's actually addendum B. That stipulates how much money that agent is going to get paid on transactions after their termination, their employment termination, whether they quit, get fired, whatever the case may be. And then after all the bullet points, the very last paragraph there, we're going to highlight the last sentence that says, if a salesperson leaves a company, the broker must make a complete written account of all monies due to the salesperson within 30 days of termination. We're going to highlight that. Okay. Now let's talk about advertising. All right, so this is not quite getting into the real estate stuff yet, but kind of sort of. We're getting into a little bit of real estate speak when we talk in here. What I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you highlight the title, advertising. And I want you to write in big letters right next to it, all capital letters, study entire section.
What page?
Same page,
Oh,
20.
advertising? Okay.
Next to advertising. Study the entire section. Oh, look at that. I got rid of a lot of that black stuff coming on the screen by getting rid of an adjustment for low light. See, click it again. Now it goes crazy. Oh. Yeah. Maybe not. That's not the adjustment. Anyway, trying to play with settings, the video settings, that black shadows drive me nuts. Okay. So this entire section goes on to the next page too, the next half of the page as well, the next page. All right, so I put a box around it. I put a box around the entire thing going on to the next page for everything above commission rates. That's all still part of the advertising section. And we're going to go through this now, the advertising section, and I'm going to read it to you, and we're going to go over explanations, and then we're going to do some bouncing around in the book because my OCD won't allow me to talk about something without fully explaining it to you. All right. So let's just basically, this is what the first paragraph talks about here. It says with advertising, like you see in the slideshow, New Jersey Real Estate Commission regulations regulate all advertisements offering a sell, buy, exchange, or rent real property. It's intended to let the public know exactly with whom you're dealing with. All advertising must comply with all state and federal regulations, no matter what type of media that they're using, whether it's social media or print ads, radio, television, internet, billboards, it don't matter. You need to be in compliance with the advertising rules. These are the Real Estate Commission's rules, as well as state laws, as well as some federal laws that we're going to be going over. Okay? So All ads must state the brokerage's name. That's not the broker's name. That's the agency name. The brokerage's name. Okay. So we're going to highlight in the third paragraph, all ads must indicate the name of the brokerage company followed by the term realtor, realtist, real estate broker, or real estate agency. Or they could have the realtor logo. You see, like we have here. I put this is the realtor logo. I put it in the slide here. See that? That's what the realtor logo looks like. All right. Now, what is a realtist? I put that on the slide here. The term realtor, well, realtist is a member of the African American Association of Realtors. Now, it's not called the African American Association of Realtors. It's called I believe it's called REBAC, Real Estate Brokers, something or other, I forget. But that's an African American Association of Realtors, basically, and all of its members are referred to as realtists. Okay, there's a lot of different types of associations. Let me see, I may have them on one of these coming pages. No, I really didn't put a thing together here for that, but you know, you have the Women's Council of Realtors, you have the REBAC, that's the African American Association of Realtors. There's a Hispanic Association of Realtors. You have AREA, that's the Asian American Association of Realtors. There's a lot of different associations of realtors that you could join in addition to your local, state, and NAR national. Okay, just keep one thing in mind. You're going to be paying dues to be a member of all of them. So you should be getting something out of it, you know, other than just, I'm a member and putting that on your business cards, you know. Maybe they're offering you additional education or something that's going to turn into tangible return for you, you know. Juice got to be worth the squeeze, right? So the real estate broker or real estate agency or realtor logos have to be in that ad as well. All right. The brokerage's name must be in larger type and more prominently displayed than your own, so that the public is aware of who the agency is, who the people in charge are. So let's highlight an ad in the next paragraph. An ad that includes a salesperson's name must indicate the name of the real estate company in larger type or more prominently displayed. All right. Now, the licensee's name must appear exactly in your advertisements as it is on your real estate license. But you don't have to use a middle name. Even if it's on your real estate license, your advertisements do not have to have the middle name. But you do have to use your real legal first name and your real legal last name as it is on your real estate license. You know, a lot of people have foreign names or difficult to pronounce names. So it's okay to have a nickname added in the middle. Instead of in lieu of a middle name, you guys can add a nickname or an Americanized name, if you will, that's easier for people to pronounce, or just something that you prefer to be called, you know. Hey, they call me Shorty, you know, put Shorty in there, you know, Vic Shorty, you know, I mean, that's not my nickname, but you know, if they put it in there, you know, Vic Shorty Kaminsky, you know, you could have that in there as a middle name. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Whatever the nickname is, okay? You're allowed to have in there, and then people will call you by what you prefer to be, what you go by, you know? You know, some people, Elizabeth, they prefer to be called Liz, you know, or, you know, those types of things, you know, so they could put Elizabeth and then a last name, and in the middle, in quotes, like, or in a little bit bigger type, they put Liz, you know, and then people will know that it's okay to call you Liz, you know? That's just what we're getting at here. So we're going to highlight the salesperson's full first name and last names must be used. A nickname may also be included.
What you got?
What paragraph, please?
That's 1, 2, 3. That's the fourth paragraph where you highlighted the first sentence already that said an ad includes the salesperson's name, must also include the name of the real estate company in larger type and more prominently displayed. Right after that, it says a salesperson's full first name and last name must be used, but a nickname may be added. And then the next sentence says an individual salesperson's web page, I guess they mean their website, must display. We're not going to highlight that whole sentence because I want you to see that there's some kind of a breakup in there at least, but highlight the phone number of the brokerage office and a link to the brokerage's website. You have to have in all your advertisements. Okay, so if you have an advertisement, you got to have the brokerage's phone number. And if it's on your own website, you should have a link back to the broker's website, as well as their phone number. You know what? Here's a little tip for you. A way not to lose the captive audience is if you have to have a link back to your company's website, what I like to do is I like to make the company logo clickable. And that serves the purpose. It doesn't need to be written. It just needs to be on the website. So you got a link there. It's clickable. You click the logo, it goes back to your company's website. But I'm not going to have it go to my company's main web page. Why lose that business? I'm going to have it, usually your company's website is going to have a profile page for each one of their agents. Have a link back to the company's website to your profile page. You see what I'm saying? So you're not losing that captive audience. We're just going back to the company's website. It's going to the company's website, but particularly to your profile. And then on your profile on the company's website, you have a link back to your website. This way you get the leads directly, right? By the way, you want a tip on where you could get a super duper cheap, fully interactive lead generating real estate brokerage, real estate website? Because websites that are interactive, where people can search the MLS and they get updated on their own with databases and all that, those things are expensive. Some of them charge thousands of dollars in setup fees, let alone to create the website and for the monthly maintenance of it. I have a resource that I could give you. That's a one-time ever $99 fee.
Oh, wow.
One-time ever $99 fee. You want it?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Hey, with a tease like that, right? Let's see. I got it coming up on one of these slides here, but let me pull up the, I actually have it on the Word document and the class links folder. See, here's the class links. All right. It's called Website Box. Hold on a second. Let me pull it up. Website. I'll just search website on here, and here we go. Oh, that's not it. Here we go. Websitebox.com. Yeah. Websitebox.com. It's a $99 one-time ever fee. Okay. Here, I'll even go to the website and I'll pull it up for you guys. So you can take a little quick tease. Just like, I'm not marketing them or anything like that. I'm just saying, I know how to start on a shoestring budget. I know starting at the beginning could be expensive with all these fees for you guys, but your first commission is going to pay for it and then some. It'll reimburse you for the school, everything, you know, but you got to get a commission first. But I still want you to get a decent start where you could generate your own leads and not rely on your broker to spoon feed them to you. And a good way to do that is to have your own interactive real estate website that pulls the listings from all different companies, and it'll be on your website. So if somebody's searching for real estate, you just give them your website link.
Oh, wow.
By the way, you see this websitebox.com? We call this a domain name, right? You guys are going to need to buy a domain name for your websites too. Go to GoDaddy. They got them pretty cheap.
Yeah.
GoDaddy.com.
Yeah.
All right. You could get them pretty cheap over there. I don't know how much they're going for, but I know that they're pretty cheap. I get mine extremely cheap because I deal in domains, so I get mine for $8 a piece. You know,
What?
but I spend 35 grand a year on domain names, so they give me a break. As a matter of fact, they give me my own account manager. So,
Oh,
I got my own private phone number that I got my own direct support person that's always going to answer at any time, day or night. You know, when you spend that kind of money, they'll give you the support. All right. But you guys are going to be spending like $12 maybe, you know, for
No,
a
I think-
domain. You know, I spent
their
$8.
domain, I think they're like $29.99.
No, not at GoDaddy, not at
Yes, they are.
GoDaddy.com. Hold on one second.
Yeah, I have one.
You're overpaying.
I am.
www.go.
I've been with them for a couple of years now.
Yeah, I switched all my domains to them quite a few years ago. Look, first year is $11.99. What does it go up to after that?
I have to call them back if that's the
Yeah.
case.
Hey, often they got sales. I always get things from them. First year, it's $1.99.
What?
Yeah, get them all the time. Look, here's one for a .guru, but you don't want that. You want .coms.
Yeah, .com.
Stay away from the .nets or in those other BS .guru, .realtor bull. You know, you want to keep the top level domain that's a .com. You know,
Yeah.
because these things are garbage. You know, they're not worth anything. Maybe someday, who knows? But I doubt it. It's going to take years, probably not our lifetime. Okay, no, look, .com, $12.99. What is it after that? Oh, yeah, they charge $17.99 every year thereafter. Holy crap! Yeah, but you know what? If you join their there's a service that they have too that you could pay. I think it's $89 a year that you pay to GoDaddy.
Mm-hmm.
If you only own one domain name, it's not worth it for you. But I pay them $89 a year, and I get this. It's called the Discount Domain Club. So every domain that you get is like $8.
Oh, okay. That's why.
All right. But so I pay $8 for mine every year, you know. Over here that's introductory $12, and you pay that yearly for it, or first year, and then after that I guess it's $18 now. So I guess price went up on it a little bit, but whatever. It's a business expense. It's a write-off. You're using it for business, right?
Yeah.
You buy this website here. Isn't that a business expense?
Well, my website.
Oh, you guys aren't even seeing it. Oh, I'm on the website here, by the way. I pulled up GoDaddy. You see it's $11.99 for the first year. Then after that, $17.99.
Wow, I didn't see that. That's because I haven't gone to their website in a while.
Yeah.
Because I've had one for them.
Yeah, you guys weren't seeing what I was doing before. On the main website, this is what you see. $11.99 for first year. Then you got these new domains, .guru right here and stuff, you know. Stick with the .coms. .nets and all that, the garbage. You get higher website ranking with the .coms anyway. So here's the websitebox.com. All right, $99 website, and they even give you a mobile application. The website is flexible. It'll work on any device. It covers all the MLSs in New Jersey. You could have them include the feed. You just got to plug into your settings the MLSs that you're a member of. You got to put your login information in there, and it'll pull all those listings from those MLSs into your website. So visitors to your website can search your website for real estate.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and you could generate your own leads. Look, so basically they all feed into your website. You could have a blog. It has a website designer that you could design, or you could choose templates to use. They have marketing tools. They have analytics that you could see what the traffic is on all your pages and adjust where it's coming from and all that stuff. You could include your email into a feed from that website. There's a live chat feature. You could associate your domain name www.something to this website, which you need to do really to make it easier. The Idx feed is that's where you get the listings that are fed into your website. The CRM, that's a content manager. for whether it's any blogs or articles or anything you're writing on that website. CRM, it's the same stuff. Contact manager, SEO expert. I guess it's a tool to help you out with your search engine visibility. But it's got a lot of tools. They give you some design. They give you a bunch of design options. They show you how easy it is. It's like typing in a Word document. It's real easy to use. Content friendly. Here's their CRM information over here, and here's your statistics. This is the way the website will look when people do a search. It comes back, it looks all really nice. They could click on it, get more information about the properties.
Mhm.
You got your branded domain name. Here's your dashboard for your back office management of the website and the contact manager for all your clients. The analytics, you can see where the traffic's coming from. Okay. Google tools are integrated. So if you've got your email address or anything,
Mhm.
you guys know that you could get you guys, anybody here have Gmail addresses? Do they like Gmail tools? Do they use them?
Yeah.
Okay. I use them because I like them because they're pretty good with the with filtering out junk mail and stuff,
Mhm.
and they give you a lot of free space. Now, did you know that they have something called Google for Domains, or I forget what the exact name of it is, but the Google tools, Google for Domains. Or is it Gmail for Domains? Yeah, no, that's not what I'm looking for. Gmail, I forget what they call their suite. Gmail for Domains.
There it is, Google domains.
Yeah, now they actually kind of work like a GoDaddy,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to do that. They stink for that. You ever try getting in touch with somebody for support at Google? Good luck with that. All right. How to use Gmail with a custom domain for free? Oh, in 2021, that'd be interesting. Oh, it's called G Suite. That's it. So G Suite for domains you want though, but I guess I found something that's a way to do it for free.
Oh, wow.
I know that you could customize your Gmail account. Like you guys send your emails to me, victor@careerpathacademy.com.
Mm-hmm.
That's hosted by Gmail.
Oh, wow.
But you're not sending it to victor@gmail.com. You're sending it to victor@careerpathacademy.com. Because they have something, this G Suite, you're going to pay $50 a year for it. See, you could use your name at yourdomainname.com. That would be your email address. All right. This is just a website that's showing you how to do it. Here. I don't know if this is a service or not. I don't know what this is. So you guys would have to look at that yourself. Here's this website I'm on right now. I don't know what this is, but it's showing you how to set it up. Okay. I know it used to be for free for domains, but I don't know if it still is. I'm pretty sure that they charge $50 a year for it.
That's expensive.
Yeah, $50 a year.
Mm-hmm.
Not at all. You could customize it with your domain name, like victor@careerpathacademy. I signed up for mine before they started charging for it when it was new. So I got it free for life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I'm limited to 15 gigabytes of space, and they, if you pay for it, you got unlimited space, I think, or 100 gigabytes or something. It's like a ridiculous number. Anyway, so you could customize your domain. You could tie it in with your website. It looks more professional than having a .yahoo or at Yahoo or at Gmail or whatever, when doing business. And then you could tie it into your website. Is this a video that they play? Hold on a second. Maybe they got a description here. We could watch it. Listen, you guys need to learn how
Nina
to
is swamped.
generate your own leads.
She's had to deal with multiple greedy vendors to do her web design, content strategy, SEO, IDX integration, and CRM. It's been a nightmare to put it all together, and it's costing her an arm and a leg. The end result? It doesn't even work that well. All Nina really wants to do is to help her clients buy and sell real estate. Nina is drowning in the old way. Kick that to the curb, Nina, because there's a new way of marketing your real estate business with Website Box. Website Box provides real estate professionals with a one-stop, fully integrated online marketing platform. Forget all that running around with delays and extra expense stuff. With Website Box, Nina gets her very own, fully customizable, user-friendly, mobile-ready, integrated with MLS search and CRM website that does absolutely everything. Website Box calls it the $99 do-it-all website, because that's just what it does. It does it all. Get started today by visiting Website Box.
I thought that video was going to show you something more than what I already explained to you. Anyway, so I'm just giving you some cheap resources that could help you out to get started. Is it the best website that's out there? No. But it is, it's got some very powerful features in it that do generate leads and such that I would recommend, especially for a new agent, you know? And so why spend thousands of dollars to set up a professional website that has these same features when you can get it for 99 bucks? You know, if you want more customizable and more control and all those features later on, sure. Then you could go to something like Broker Wolf or WolfNet. But those websites are expensive, you know? Broker Wolf is one. You got WolfNet is another. Or Lone Wolf Technologies. I guess they bought them now. They also bought those contract form systems that we're using now too. They're very good. They're very good, but they're very expensive. I don't think they even give you a price on the website because you got to get a quote from them. You know it's going to be expensive, you know.
They make you call, huh?
Yeah, they make you call, you know. You know, they got a lot of solutions. Okay, look, they got that agency. See, they own the zip forms that our MLS bought for us. So, I'm sorry, our Realtors Association. Remember I told you you get them for free now? Well, our Realtor Association dues are paying into that. Yeah, look at that right here, zip forms. They own, Lone Wolf is becoming so big. They bought zip forms, which used to be a separate company. They bought e-signature. They bought a lot of Lead Agent. They bought a lot of different companies too that they're buying out competition too. Anyway, you could go to them too and check it out on your own. That's lwolf.com. That's another website. They're very good, but they're very expensive. You also have that was that Broker Wolf or WolfNet. WolfNet. .net. Yeah, wolfnet.net is another one. Or maybe not. All right, I don't know what that is. Okay, never mind. There's a lot of different companies out there for real estate broker web hosting for websites, but you can look into them. A lot of them are hosted on their own websites, and you can't customize it as well. You know, this is a good one. One-time fee, $99. If you want more information for other alternatives, you could email me separately and I could get them to you. I do have tons of them listed somewhere in my notes. I'll have to look through them. But all these links you could find in the Word document. Okay, the class links folder. Yep. The class links folder, you see I got them in here. You could just search up website and it'll come up, Website Box. That QuickBooks Independent Contractor, Self-Employed. Remember I told you about that one? GoDaddy for domains. There's something called Realtyjuggler. It's a contact manager and an app for you as well that creates also postcards, property sheets. It's got your contact expense tracker, all that. That's $99 a year, I think. Here's an excellent tool called the Red X. You want to get listings? Where do you get them from? Okay. Well, how about getting expired listings? Listings where a homeowner listed their property for sale with an agent, that listing expired and they failed to sell it. You think they're motivated to sell still?
Maybe.
Probably, yeah. So why don't you reach out to them? Oh, you got to be careful. It's against the law to solicit the business of another broker. So you got to wait till that listing expires first before you reach out to them. So if you see that it expired in the MLS, before you call them, you better do a search of the MLS to make sure it wasn't relisted with another company. Well, this tool will do it all for you. You can put the settings in there. I want to look for expired listings in this area through this MLS. You search, you do a search, and it automatically does that search for you, and it double checks. And it also scrubs it against do not call lists, and it finds out through other resources, tax records and other places to try to get the homeowner's real phone number. Because often the real estate agents in the listings in the MLS, they'll put their own phone number there, and then they'll put down name undisclosed or on file, you know, so then you don't have the owner's information to contact them. But this tool will scrub the public records and try to locate it for you. Yeah, and whatever the fee is, I don't know what they charge, but whatever the fee is, it's good. They also scour for sale by owners, expired listings. They search the tax records for absentee owner lists. This tool, check your broker may subscribe to it already, and they may let you use it, or you could subscribe to it on your own and get it on your own.
That's a good resource.
Whatever it is, whatever they're charging, it's worth it. Okay.
That's a good resource. Yeah.
Here's that free realtor that mobile app I told you about the other day for creating your own presentations, listing presentations, or buyers tour presentations and all that stuff. Or if you wanted to pull up a property's information from the by standing in front of it, that NAR RPR, this is part of your realtor dues will pay for it. You just go to narrpr.com, and then they'll give you those, even on their website. I think you could just scan it and download the mobile app because they got that little barcode there where you could scan, and then it'll download the mobile app for your Apple or Google Play Store. Let me see. I paid my dues yesterday. Let me see if they update it so it's operational yet. Nope, not yet. Let me see. Updates.
So that's an app.
Whoopsie. Yep. These social media companies are killing themselves right now. Twitter has never been really profitable. They've been making money from investors. You know, they don't really sell anything. They haven't really been profitable until recently. I think they when Trump was elected, since he was elected, their value went up 6 times. They doubled themselves 6 times in value. My friend just sent me something that said today Twitter lost $5 billion in market value since they shut down Trump's account that has something like 60 million followers, 60 or 80 million followers, whatever it is.
Wow, that's a big chunk.
People know how to shoot themselves in the foot, man. Look, like if you're involved in real estate or whatever, you know what? You keep your own personal views on anything to yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
This is a business. You treat it like a business. When you're dealing in the business world, don't let anybody know. You know, like in Hollywood these days, they're getting all so political. You know who does really good in Hollywood? Those who keep their mouth shut. That you don't know what their personal views are. You know, me personally, I don't want to know what their views are. I want to watch your movies and enjoy them. You know, I don't want you pissing me off, right? Because there's a view on each side, right? So whatever your view is, keep it to yourself. I want to enjoy your movies.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
All right. So here's that, you know, there's so many resources there for you guys. I just want to show you that I got these resources here for you. I want you to use what I compiled. I did put together a lot of information that's useful to you. So I just want to keep bringing it up and showing you how useful these resources are. I don't want them going to waste. I want you guys to be successful. Don't rely on just your brokers. Your brokers should be giving you training so that they teach you how to fish. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Instead of just feeding you for a day with those leads. All right, so back to the slideshows. The salesperson's website has to have a link back to the brokerage's website and include the brokerage's phone number. All the stuff that we're highlighting here, by the way, I got on one slide here. You may want to snap a picture of this.
I did. I have that one.
All right. The phone numbers in ads must state what they're to. Okay, let me see.
The phone numbers and ads must what?
Like if you put a phone number on your business card, or if you put a phone number on a website, you can't just put the phone number. You got to say
Oh, yeah, home
office,
or office.
fax,
Yeah.
cell. You must
Oh.
never use the term home office. Why not?
Because you're not supposed to have a home office. Only a
Very
broker.
good. Very good. You're
Yeah.
not allowed to have a home office. Only a broker can, right?
Yeah.
All right. So,
So office, fax, cell.
I know there's a link to that somewhere in here. Or I'm sorry, there's something in here pertaining to that we have to highlight with the phone number. Oh, it's in the next one. We don't have to highlight it, but the next sentence, it says, if an advertisement includes a licensee's home phone,
Yeah.
it must be identified such as res or home, and the office phone number must be included as well. But you can never use the term home office. And why would you put your home number on in an ad?
Yeah.
You know, there's a
Business.
lot of wackos out there.
Yeah. Keep it business. Yeah.
You know, listen, your cell phone you could turn off. You know,
Yeah.
or you could get one of those other separate cell phone numbers that ring to your same cell phone that's
Yeah.
just for business, and then you could
Yeah.
shut it off after certain hours. You know,
Yeah.
listen, try to separate. You're going to have to find a line when being self-employed. You got to find a line to be able to separate your business life from your personal. You got to
Yeah.
carve out personal time for yourself, because if you don't, it's very easy to let your business overshadow your life. Okay, that's when you start, your relationships start falling apart. You start having all kinds of other issues. You start going crazy because you're too involved in work. All right. Continuing here. Property ads must specify the municipal location. We're going to highlight that. All ads must specify the property's municipal location. What's a municipality? It's like the name of the city, town, township, borough, right? Then how come they got separate names for them? Cities, towns, townships, boroughs. They're all municipalities. Why do they call them? Why do they get these weird names? These municipalities get these weird names: cities, towns, townships, boroughs, et cetera, et cetera.
Why?
It's the form of government structure that's used to manage that municipality.
Oh,
Little factoid there for you.
wow.
If you want to learn more about that, you could Wikipedia it. You could search up types of municipalities or municipal structures.
Yeah.
And there's a whole write-up on all that. It's an interesting read if you're interested in that kind of stuff. I don't know.
That's good to know.
A lot of people, when I ask it, they say, oh, it's because of population. No, it's not. It's by the form of government structure that the municipality chose to manage it. Right?
That's good to know.
Yeah, a little factoid there, good for trivia night, right? Real estate trivia. Hey, maybe I should put an app together for that, or on the website, some real estate trivia. All right, so you must never use the term in the vicinity of. In lieu, that means in place of the municipal location. You're allowed to use the term in the vicinity of, just not instead of the municipal location. All right, this is very important. Let me explain why this is very important. Let's first highlight it. In an ad, if the broker, wait, wrong place. Oh, I don't have it highlighted in my book. All right, highlight phrases in that same paragraph. Phrases such as in the vicinity of are prohibited unless the body of the ad also contains the exact municipal location. So you're allowed to use the phrase, just not instead of the municipal location. And let me explain to you why that's important. You guys familiar with the Edison area at all?
Yeah.
Okay. In Edison on Route 27, there is a monument. It's actually one of Thomas Edison's laboratories off of Route 27. They call it the Edison Tower. A lot of people refer to it as the Edison Tower section. Okay. Well, Edison is his last name, you know, Edison Tower section. Okay. What town is it in?
It's supposed to be, it's not, is it in Metuchen or is it Edison?
Well, it's actually on the border of Edison and Island.
Oh, okay.
So some of that area back there is Island, which is part of the Woodbridge municipality, you know, the Woodbridge townships, right? And the other one is Edison, part of Edison Township.
Oh.
All right.
Off of 27?
So in an advertisement, if I got a listing back there, do I say in the Edison Tower vicinity?
No, no.
Well, I could say in the vicinity of Edison Tower, Edison. In the vicinity of Edison Tower, Island. I have to state the municipal location as well. There's nothing wrong with saying in the vicinity of. That's just a fancy word for saying it's near. Right?
Add with it.
I can't just say it's near something. I got to tell you what city it's in.
Yeah.
What the municipality is, right? So there's no problems with saying in the vicinity of, as long as you also include the municipal location. That is a question on exams. I know we give it on our exam, right? So there's also another exception to that. If you have a website or a newspaper or a magazine ad, and you got a property, individual property ad for sale. This property in Edison is for sale. If it's under a heading of all properties in Edison, you don't have to have it repeated in each individual little property ad, this property's in Edison, because it's under a bigger heading that all the properties, it's understood that all the properties under the heading are in Edison, right?
Yeah.
So that's an exception too. In the next paragraph, highlight if in an ad, the broker refers to membership in a multiple listing service, an MLS, the full name of that service must be spelled out. Now, there are some exceptions to that, but we're not going to have to, I'm not going to have you highlight it. Those exceptions are spot ads that are 20 lines or fewer or less than 1 column in width. For sale signs and business cards, you don't have to spell out the name of every MLS you're a member of. Aren't business cards and for sale signs advertisements? They are. So on those things, you don't have to have the full name spelled out. You could just use a generic logo like this. You see this one? Multiple listing service, MLS. That's a generic logo. We have a lot of MLSs in New Jersey. We got 8 of them. We're going to go over in the coming slides. I think in the next slide, we're going to go over some of the MLSs here. See this slide right here? It goes over a bunch of the MLSs that's coming. All right, just finish this slide up first. Ads that refer to a home warranty. So the next paragraph, the last line of the page, we're going to highlight any ad offering a rebate to the purchaser of a residential property must disclose the buyer's obligation to pay any applicable taxes and advise the purchaser to consult with a tax professional.
You said what page? 21 or 20?
That's the bottom of page 20 that continues on to 21.
Okay. Any advertising? Okay.
Why did I not have that listed here? I think I got it on another slide with home warranties coming up. Let me see. I still should have had it listed here. So, so I'll adjust it. Un momento. So if home warranties well, must disclose all right. So if you talk about receiving warranties in an ad, you offer a warranty in an ad, you have to disclose to the parties that they're responsible for paying any applicable, what is this? There you go. That they're responsible for paying any income taxes in regards of receiving that warranty, and that they should consult with a tax professional. That will be an exam question. Okay. All right. Ads that refer to a home warranty. That's the one at the bottom of the page. Nope, we highlight, no, the bottom of the page was the rebates. Oh yeah, just before the rebate was talking about a home warranty. I'm not going to have you highlight it. However, here's a basic rule of thumb that you need to know in case they give you something about that on exam. If you mention a home warranty in an advertisement, actually I wrote home warranty here instead of rebate. I guess I put them out of order. Oh, didn't I? So if you mention that you're offering a home warranty in an advertisement, let me ask you guys a question. If I said home warranty goes with the property, do you got any questions?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have questions.
Like what?
What does it consist of?
So what does it cover?
Yeah, what does it cover? Yeah.
Who the warranty company is?
Yeah.
Is an inspection required to get the warranty?
Is it a fee?
Yeah, what does it cover?
Right.
How much does it cost? Who's paying for it?
Yeah.
Right? Anytime you have additional questions like that, anytime you have an additional question like that, when you put something extra in an advertisement that would give people extra questions like that, full disclosure is required. That's the basic rule of thumb. So anytime you offer a little extra cookie in an ad, you know, you give them a little teaser, full disclosure is required. You got to fully explain the terms and the conditions there. So an advertisement that refers to a home warranty must state whether the inspection is required, if the warranty is mandatory, and whether the purchaser is responsible for the payment of that warranty or not. By the way, if I get listings, here's a little tip for you. If I get a listing, I always recommend that the buyer get that the seller get the home warranty.
Oh, real?
Look, even if they don't order it yet. I tell them not to order and pay for it yet until the transaction, until you get an offer. Because check this out, here's a little hidden secret that people don't know about. Home warranty companies will give a listing agent the home warranty for free to the homeowner while the property is listed with you. So basically, if you got a listing, you got a property up on the market for sale and their water heater breaks, it's covered.
Oh, wow.
And they got that insurance for free. They only need to pay the small service fee, which is like 50 or 75 bucks. And then the people, they'll arrange getting the permits that are required from the city. They'll replace it with whatever product is, you know, it's SEER 13 or whatever their energy rating is on it. It's not a bad additional bonus, right? But make sure that as a real estate agent, even though it's something extra, you could talk to them about that. Don't put it in an ad. Don't put that in an advertisement, because then that would be, depending on how you worded it, it could be illegal. All right, because anything that we offer for free to the public, which we didn't get to in that ad that's coming up here, anything that we offer for free to the public has to be genuinely free and no strings attached, not contingent upon you doing business with me. So if I say, hey, if you do, you can't advertise, hey, if you list your property with me, you'll get a free home warranty while you're listed with me. Okay, that's illegal. Because if we offer anything for free to the public, it has to be genuinely free, no strings attached, and we got to offer it to everybody. Even though it's not us that's offering it, it's the warranty company. But if you're going to be putting it in your ads like that and wording it like that, now you're in violation of the law, though. You see? So you could have the conversation with people when you go in for your listing appointment. Oh, an added bonus, when you're listing your property with me, you're going to get this for free from the warranty company. I'm not giving it to you for free. The warranty company is giving it to you for free. During your listing term, you're going to be covered. So if your water heater or your furnace breaks, it's covered. That's especially great if it's already on its way out. And I suggest to the homeowner that they always buy it. When the buyer puts an offer in, I suggest to the seller to buy the home warranty, a 1-year home warranty for the buyer. Now, why do I do that? What do I get out of that? Less of a headache, for one. When buyers do home inspections, why do they do home inspections?
To find any undercover, anything that, you know, may cost them or anything, you know.
To find problems with the house.
Problems in the house, yeah.
Right? So one thing that we come across a lot is we get people that they say, you know, there's a life expectancy for certain appliances like the water heater and the furnace. They have life expectancies on them. Can't tell you how many times we do a home inspection and they see that the water heater is 10 years old, 12 years old, or 15 years old, and they're like, well, you know, this thing only had a 10-year life expectancy on it, or 7 or 10-year life expectancy on it. It's already past its life expectancy. So they want you to replace the water heater or give them a credit towards buying another water heater. How about this? If I offer you a home warranty for a year, I guarantee you that that water heater is going to be good for the next year. And if it's not, it's going to be replaced for free.
Wow.
That's what the home warranty does. The insurance company is going to insure it for that. I mean, who sells you something and says it's going to be good for a year? Can you buy a used car and the seller is going to say, I'm going to warranty it for the next year, that nothing's going to go wrong with it? Ain't happening, right? But I could sell you a house and I could buy you the home warranty that'll warranty it for a year. Right? So we're trying to prevent that buyer from trying to make excuses to renegotiate the terms of the sale after their home inspection, because a lot of buyers think that that's the opportunity for them to start renegotiating the terms.
After that home inspection.
After that home inspection, I guarantee you, what you just wait for it. All right, wait, I'm waiting for it. What are you going to ask for? What are you going to ask for? How are you going to try to renegotiate now? Okay, it always happens. But this way you could be like, no negotiations. You got a year warranty. It's going to be covered for a year. How long of a warranty do you want? It's a used property. Of course, you may find issues with it. It's old, right? Hey, you can get new houses that got problems with them.
Yeah, true.
All right. The next paragraph, we're going to highlight any ad may not indiscriminately promising financing. You know what? Let's talk about the MLS stuff first, because a couple paragraphs ago, we mentioned MLSs, and I kind of been skipping over it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So we got the slide here. Let's address this slide here so that we can stay in order with these slides. I told you there's more than one MLS in New Jersey. There's actually 8 of them. Look at them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 major MLSs in New Jersey. These are the MLSs. Every single one of these MLSs cover the entire state of the New Jersey. They all have listings for all 21 counties and all 550 municipalities in the state. However, Cape May County MLS, what do you think is its primary area of coverage?
Cape May.
Cape May, way down here.
Yep, Cape May.
So you think an agent that's up here is going to be a member of Cape May County MLS down here? Even though they got a listing for all 21 counties and all 550 municipalities, do you think that they're going to be a member of Cape May County MLS? No, because Cape May, its primary target area is the Cape May County area. And all the agents in that area are primarily using that MLS. Agents up here are going to be using Garden State MLS. Okay. Just like agents here in Ocean County, the northern Ocean County part, and Monmouth County, they're using Monmouth Ocean MLS. The southern part of Ocean County, the primary area there, that's the Southern Ocean County MLS. Guess which one goes to Hudson County?
Hudson County.
Hudson County MLS, except for the northernmost strip of the Hudson County, which is covered under NJ MLS, which they also cover Bergen and Passaic too. And then we have Middlesex County MLS, which is, they just changed their name recently. They're trying to get a bigger market share by renaming themselves the Central Jersey MLS. Although we know that their primary area is Middlesex County still. It's going to be years before that changes. They're just trying to rebrand themselves to get a bigger market share, right? And then Garden State, and then we have Trend. Trend MLS is this whole southwestern, from Mercer County, the southwestern part of the state here, which, oh, sorry. This whole southwestern part of the state, including Atlantic, right here, from Mercer on, this is covered by Trend MLS. And Trend MLS also covers Pennsylvania, Delaware, and another state. I forget where else. And Garden State MLS covers every place else. Garden State covers Somerset, Hudson, Union, Essex, Morris, Warren, Sussex as the primary MLS.
Really?
Yep. So they're probably one of the bigger MLSs in New Jersey.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they're also one of the cheapest.
Oh, wow.
It costs you about $70 every 6 months. So $140 a year,
Yeah.
somewhere around there. Middlesex County MLS, the CJ MLS, they're about, they're between $380 and $420 a year.
That much?
Yeah. Well, check this one out. Monmouth Ocean County MLS. Is this a rich area?
Some of it, yeah.
You see them shore houses?
Yeah, yeah. Especially Deal.
I seen a vacant lot in, I think it was Seaside or somewhere. I forget where it was. A vacant lot, like on the beach side across the street from the beach.
Yeah.
Over $1 million.
Yep. That's near Deal.
It's crazy.
Wait, Ocean though, because Ocean, you can be near Bradley Beach. They have a lot of nice homes there down
There's
there.
a lot of areas down there.
Beach area.
So what do you think? You think this is an expensive MLS to be a part of?
Is it? Because that Middlesex County is, and they not even they just changed their name and trying to charge a lot of money.
Monmouth Ocean MLS. Well, yeah, Middlesex County charges a lot to begin with.
Yeah, and they're not even that
Yeah.
big.
Monmouth Ocean MLS, they actually used to charge their agents $600 a year.
What?
They lowered it to 300. They cut it in half about a year or two ago.
Yeah, they got smart.
But the brokers pay a lot more. I still pay $1,200 for mine. Brokers pay more for their membership than the salespeople do.
Mm.
All right. So brokers have to have membership, and then you guys can join the MLS if and only if your broker's a member of that MLS.
Oh, wow.
Wait a minute. So you guys got a question for brokers at interview time?
Yeah.
What MLSs are you a member of? You may not
definitely.
want to go working for a broker if you want to
Right.
work in an area that they're not a member of the MLS that's primary to that area,
Right.
unless they're willing to join it, because you can't join an MLS unless your broker's already a member of it.
Yeah, that's a good question to ask.
It is. It's already on that list that I've prepared for you guys, by the way.
Mhm.
All right. Now, so New Jersey has 21 counties and there's 550 municipalities throughout the state. There's a little factoid for you. All right. Now you guys can become a member of any of these MLSs, but only if your broker's a member of that MLS. And the majority of these MLSs, you need to be a realtor in good standing, meaning that you paid your realtor dues and you completed your realtor's code of ethics training every 2 years. Let me change that because we just learned yesterday on the realtor's website that they changed it to 3 years now, right? So every 3 years now. Every 3 years. All right. Now, these are all primarily residential MLSs. You can, however, put listings in there for commercial, for businesses and such. But if you're primarily a commercial real estate agent, you're probably not going to be a member of these. You're going to be a member of one of these: CoStar, LoopNet, or Commercial Industrial MLS, CIMLS. Okay. CoStar is the largest commercial MLS in the world. LoopNet is owned by CoStar. It's smaller and more affordable, but it's still expensive. And then CIMLS, I don't know. That's Commercial Industrial MLS. I don't know how much it costs, but this one is owned by a Realtors Association. So I'm sure that this one requires that you're a member of the Realtor Association in good standing with your dues paid, right? To become a member of this one.
Mhm.
CoStar, they don't even care if you have a real estate license, you could join it. As long as you pay the monthly dues, they really don't care.
Well,
You want to know what the monthly dues are for their cheapest plan?
what is it?
Are you ready? Who wants to get involved in commercial real estate?
I like commercial.
All right.
5,000, 10,000.
CoStar's cheapest plan is $320 a month.
No, wow, that's why they don't care if you have a license or not. They care about the money.
That's their cheapest plan. Okay. That's let me explain the business models. With the residential MLS, you're paying for access. With the commercial MLSs, you're paying for data.
Mhm.
You're paying for information. They have a lot of information there. Like you could do radius searches on maps where you could draw a circle on the map and you could put in the criteria you're looking for. You could do searches for property and get in just for information, not even for properties, just for information of the demographics of people that are in an area, for based off of things like their incomes, relationship status, ethnicity, religion, whether they're owner occupants or renters. What's this other one down here? And traffic street counts. Okay. if any of that information was available in the residential MLSs, that would be illegal.
Yeah, I was just
It's
getting ready to say that.
discriminatory.
That sounds illegal.
It's discriminatory,
It sure very.
but not for commercial.
Not for commercial.
Not for commercial. It's a business. You guys
Yeah.
ever watch that show with John Tapper, Bar Rescue? Anybody ever see that show, Bar Rescue?
Yeah. Yeah.
The guy tries to, he goes in there for failing bars and tries to see what's going on with them and tries to figure out how, how he could fix the problem. You know what? I got to get a little clip of this from Bar Rescue and just put it in here in this slideshow. Let me put it, Bar Rescue clip.
I think some of it is staged though.
Well, you know what? A lot of those things are real.
Yeah.
Like, of course, they go back and then they re-record it. And sure, it may be a little bit staged, you know. But
I believe a lot of
real-
those shows are staged. But he has real potential, like how he changes it, makes it successful.
But you know what? Those things are real. I called them once for a friend who owns a bar, and they agreed to come in. However, let me show you how it's staged. My friend owned the bar. It's two brothers and a father that own the bar. The father's kind of retired, so he only kind of like stops in there, bartends during the day when it's quiet, you know, and he sit there at the bar drinking all day, you know. John Tapper, you know how he feels about bartenders drinking on the job, right? He starts screaming at them, right? And then you got two brothers that they used to work a lot together, then they got into arguments. So now it's like one was managing the bar and then the other one would disappear. And now you have a period where the other's managing the bar and the other one, you haven't seen him in months, he disappears. Like they alternate like that. They don't even, because they're like fighting, they're feuding, you know? So I called them up because I'm like, they need some help here because their business isn't doing what it used to, you know? They agreed. They actually sent somebody down to sit at the bar without they did their covert operations without letting the bar owners know. You know, they came in and they agreed. They actually they asked to talk to the owner, and they did, they were recording this stuff too. And they were talking to him about it. And they said they'll agree to it. They'll redo his whole bar. You know, his bar was in good condition, but they'll redo it. And they'll redo the whole business model and plan on it. But they said, but you got to throw your brother under the bus, you know, because he's not here now. You're the only one that's taking care of it. You know, they needed some drama for the show. And he's like, listen, I'm just starting to talk to my brother again. I mean, we were in a bad way for years. We're just starting to talk. We're still on shaky ground, you know, and you want me to throw him under the bus again and blame him for this? And he's like, nah, I don't want to do that. You know, I went back to my friend. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You know, it's just a stage. Just talk to your brother. Let him know that this is a stage. They're going to pay. They're going to redo your whole bar. They're going to get it full of business. And then you could sell it and dump it. Make you a lot of money. And then you could be good in terms with your brother, you know? And he's like, nah, he's like, he wouldn't want to be made to look like a jerk on TV, you know? Like, well, that's your decision to do. You know, I would have done it. You know, make me look like a jerk on TV. I don't give a shit, you know? You're gonna redo my bar. We could sell it for a lot of money. But that was their choice. So you know, you're talking about staging. Yeah, there's a little bit of staging, but it really is real issues that they base it off of. So a lot of those whack jobs that they dealt with, they are real.
Yeah.
Just shows you some of these business owners out there that just go out there and try to wing it. You know, you wonder why they fail. So basically what they do is they find bars that are failing and that they need help. That's why they call it bar rescue. The guy comes in, what's one of the first things that he does when he comes in there? He looks up the demographics of the area within a 1, 3, and 5 mile range of that bar. You know, is this working class neighborhood? Is this blue collar? Is this white collar neighborhood that we're dealing with? Is this a college community? Is it mostly singles? How much money do people make in the area? This way you create the business in the area based on the demographic of the people who are around you. You got to target your business to your audience that's closest to you, you know? So he goes, you got the wrong bar set up here. You need to have this set up as this sort of a bar, you know? And then how does he get that information? Where does he get that information from? He gets it from this MLS, which this MLS aggregates it from various data sources, and data is expensive. You know, you got people doing street counts, sitting out there with car clickers, counting how many cars drive by every day. All right. That's the way they used to do it. You know how they do it now? You ever drive into a gas station and the bell rings to let the attendant know that you're there? Remember they used to have that rubber hose laying down across the road?
Yeah.
You ever drive on a highway and see a rubber hose across the highway or across the street or off an exit ramp or entrance ramp? A lot of times that's the DOT, the Department of Transportation, that's doing street counts. They're counting the tires, all the tires that cross over it. All right, that's how they're doing. Instead of having somebody standing out there with a clicker, every time a car drives by, they're doing the street counts that way. But sometimes it could be the MLS that's doing it. Some of those may belong to the MLS and not the DOT. All right, but either way, they're gathering this information so that they could resell because information is valuable. They want to know the incomes and everything. You want to put a certain type of business out there. You want to have it to the target audience. It's not discriminatory.
Yeah.
It's needed if you want to run a business, if you want to do it successfully. You need to know what the audience is in the area. You have to target people based on those things.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's not discriminatory. In a residential situation for housing, there's no reason for you to know people's demographics.
Right.
You don't need to know if they're married, if they're single, if they're white collar, if they're blue collar. All that information is irrelevant. What's that?
Isn't there a term for that? Was that steering or something?
Well, that's just straight up discrimination right there. Steering is directing people in one neighborhood versus another.
Talking about commercial properties, I actually went 2 weeks ago. Not when I called up a real estate agent for a property, and he didn't want to show it to me because I needed the pre-approval. So
that's not discriminatory, by the way.
Yeah, I told him it was going to take me a month because I just paid off debt, so I told him it's going to take me a month because I want that debt to affect my credit score before I apply for the approval.
Yeah. See if the property's still around. Probably will be.
Well, it's been on the market for almost a year and a half. So.
And there's more coming on the market. So
yeah,
unless it's a good deal. If it's been on the market for a year and a half, it may not. So. Let's take a look, see. So basically that's the difference between the commercial MLSs and residential MLSs. It doesn't help you on exams, but it's information that you need to know if you're going to be in the business. All right, so moving along. Back to the book. An ad may not indiscriminately promise financing. Highlight that on page 21. That's the second paragraph on page 21. Highlight an ad may not indiscriminately promise financing. If you talk about financing in an ad, you have to discriminate. Do you hear me? You have to discriminate. You have to say to those who qualify or to a qualified buyer. All right? Guys, the word discrimination is not a bad word. The word the way that you're used to hearing it is bad, okay? You're used to maybe like racial discrimination or something along those terms, all right? But if you just look at the word discrimination itself, that just means being selective, right? So if in an advertisement, you are promising financing, you cannot indiscriminately promise financing because that means you're offering the financing to everyone who sees the ad. But everybody who sees the ad may not be able to afford it. So you have to discriminate. You have to use a term such as to those who qualify or to a qualified buyer. Now you're thinning out and you're being selective. You're saying this applies only to people who can afford it. Okay. So I want you to write above that Regulation Z, just like I have it written up here on the slide. Regulation Z. And then I want you to write page 259-261. Just like it's on the slide. 259-261. I put together this one slide for you. that explains everything you need to know about Regulation Z, which is going to be on the school and the state exam, that the book takes 3 pages to explain to you. I do it in 1 slide. And I do it probably clearer. Regulation Z is a federal law that implements the Truth in Lending Act, or TILA, that requires full disclosure when talking about financing in an advertisement. If certain, what we call triggering terms are used. Those triggering terms are, right here, if you mention in an ad an interest rate, a payment amount, a down payment amount, or the term, that's like the number of payments or the number of years, full disclosure would then be required. You have to use a statement like, to those who qualify or to a qualified buyer. Because if you don't, then you're indiscriminately promising financing to everybody who sees that ad. And so if these triggering terms are used, you have to have full disclosure. You have to say to those who qualify or to a qualified buyer, and you need to disclose these 3 items. The APR, which is different than the interest rate. APR stands for annual percentage rate. It's basically the percentage rate plus any one-time fees that may not be reoccurring, any additional costs that are involved in getting the financing. You know, like an application fee or something like that. These are one-time fees. They're not recurring. But if you were to factor it into the life of the loan, that cost of getting the loan into the life of the loan, and then down to an annual basis, what the APR would be the interest rate plus the annual percentage if you factor in all those one-time ancillary payments. Like if you're getting a mortgage loan, that would be an application fee, an appraisal. Isn't an appraisal required to get the loan from the bank, from the lender? Yeah. But is that a reoccurring fee or is that a one-time fee?
One time.
The one-time fee. So if you factored it into the overall costs, the APR is always just a smidgen higher than the interest rate.
Mhm.
If you ever notice that, it's always a little bit higher because it includes that, and they do their little complex math complication, calculations to figure out how much it would be. All right. And then you would also have to disclose the down payment amount if required and the term. So these are the 4 triggering terms you need to know. These are the 3 items that you need to disclose in addition to this phrase, to those who qualify, or you could say to a qualified buyer. Either one's acceptable. Now, if you don't do that in your advertisement, the penalties for violating an administrative order of Regulation Z are $10,000 for each day that advertisement is out there violating the law. That could be expensive, especially for real estate agents. First of all, there's no reason for you guys to talk about financing in an ad. Are we lenders? No, but sometimes you get real estate agents that they try clever marketing ideas. Instead of telling people how much the house is, do you have to have how much the house is in an ad?
No.
Instead of telling people how much the house is, they work out with a mortgage rep how much it would cost, what the monthly payment would be. Or they would break it down even further to the daily payment. Get into this house for as little as so much per day. Oh, it seems a lot more affordable now, right? It's just a little marketing scheme they try to do. But if you're going to start doing crap like that, guess what? You're talking about financing, and this law you need to obey. This is a federal law. This usually doesn't apply to us because we have no reason to talk about financing. Lenders do, not us. But if you're going to start talking about financing, then it applies to you too. And if you don't put all the disclosures in the ad, I don't know a single real estate magazine that's out there that's less than 2 weeks. Is the shortest one, is 2 weeks. Most of them are a month. They're published monthly. So I know of one that's published every 2 weeks. Okay. So let's see, 14 days times $10,000 a day. Ooh, that's a big fine,
Mhm.
right? Me. Yeah, all right, let's see. So take a picture of this slide or just copy the slideshow. You guys have access to this slides. You can download them, whatever. This is a good slide to study. You will absolutely get it on both exams, without doubt. All right, moving along. No advertisement or sign, we're going to highlight this, may indicate that a property is sold until the sale has closed and title, meaning ownership, has transferred.
Mhm. Mhm.
All right. So you guys ever see a sold sign rider on a property?
Mhm.
Probably shouldn't have been there. Serious.
Really?
Think about it. If the property's sold, what homeowner wants to have a for sale sign still on their property?
Really? That I always thought about that. I was like, why is it still there?
You know, unless I was both the listing agent and the buyer's agent in the transaction, and I asked them if I could keep it up there for a couple of days just so the community can see that I sold the property. But a lot of times when you see those sold sign riders on properties, they're up there for months on end.
That long?
That's your little tip right there. BS. It's
Yeah.
probably a real estate agent who's trying to get their own buyer. If it's sold, think about it. What homeowner is going to want that sign still on the property? I could understand maybe a week.
That's
But
what I was.
beyond that, they're like, get your sign out of here,
Yeah.
right?
I won't
So-
have to say that because I will actually take
Yeah,
it
you'll
back.
just pull it out of the ground, throw it in the garbage,
right.
throw it on the side of the
Put
house
your
for a few. Hey,
sign.
come pick up your sign before it goes out in the garbage,
You got 30 days to pick it up.
right? But it ain't staying on my front lawn,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
So, I mean, if they're friendly with you and they were your agent, but think about it. Let's say that I was your buyer's agent and Ellen was the seller's agent on the property. And you, Tracy, were the buyer,
Mhm.
right? So she was the listing agent and I was your agent, the buyer's agent, right?
Mhm.
If you closed on the property, you're now the owner.
Right.
Why would you want Ellen's sign still on your property? She wasn't even representing you. She was that pain in the ass agent that kept making things harder for you.
I
Right?
wouldn't. And
Right?
it wouldn't be
Yeah, get that stuff out of here. You'd rip that out the first day,
That's
Yeah.
right.
right? It
Yeah.
doesn't make sense. So a lot of times,
Ellen,
those sign riders are
She
there.
will have a week to pick it up.
Yeah, but it'll be on the side of my house.
That's right.
It's not gonna be sitting on my front lawn, right?
Yeah.
You know? So think about it. That sold sign rider is probably not supposed to be there in most times where you see it there. Okay? Because what had to happen was if it's sold, that means there's a new owner. That means it closed. There's a new owner. That doesn't mean that there's a new offer on the table that's been accepted. That means that we closed the transaction and there's now a new owner of the property.
Mhm.
Okay? Under contract is one that we use to describe when an offer's been accepted. It went to attorney review. It's
Right.
out of attorney review, and now we're in a legally binding contract.
Right.
So if you're going to use a sign rider on a property, you can use under contract.
Right.
Don't ever use sale pending. The Real Estate Commission advised us on this years ago to throw those sign riders away. First of all, there's nothing in the law that requires you to use a sign rider.
Mm.
But if you're going to use one to reflect the status of the property, it has to accurately reflect the status of the property.
Mhm.
So you can't use sale pending. What does that mean? What does that even mean, sale pending?
Not even sure.
Look, if I list the property for sale, isn't a sale pending? Pending that I find a buyer that puts in an offer that's acceptable to the seller, right? I mean, what exactly does sale pending mean?
Right.
You're looking for
However,
somebody.
under contract has a very definite definition.
Yeah.
That means an offer's been accepted, it's out of attorney review, and you're in a legally binding contract right now. You're under contract. Coming soon listings. The Real Estate Commission warned us about these. And even though some MLSs have a feature where you could put in coming soon listings, you know what? The Garden State MLS has a, let me take a look at their paperwork. Hold on one second. Let me pull it up and see, because I remember seeing that they have a coming soon listing sign rider there. All right, so let me share this with you because you're not seeing what I'm doing here. So if I go to the forms website in Garden State MLS and I go to their listing input sheets, they have something here coming soon that was, oh, it was updated in November 2020. Let's see what they had to say. Coming soon, to be completed for all coming soon delayed showing listings. So what is a coming soon listing? You have a listing on the property for sale. It's not that we don't have the listing yet. You have to have a listing. However, the owner signed a delayed showing. You know what that means? You can't show it either if you're the listing agent. Nobody can show the property. If it's available for the listing agent to show, it has to be available for everyone to show. So a delayed listing, nobody can show it. That's a coming soon. That's what a coming soon listing is. All right. See, seller and listing broker agree that there will be no showings of the property to prospective purchasers, nor any real estate agent previews or caravans for your office, the listing office, prior to the first showing date. Look at this. There are no exceptions to the prohibitions against showing before the first showing date. The Real Estate Commission is on this. These investigators look at, when you mark it as a coming soon listing, they're going to be paying attention to you. They're going to see who gets those lists, who sells those properties. And then they're going to look at it to see if there was any hanky-panky involved, unfair treatment, not sharing those listings with other agencies. All right. Just wanted to show you what that coming, you know what, let me put a link to that coming soon listing. Let me copy that link. And I'm going to put a link to that directly in our slideshow. How about that? Coming soon, accurate status, coming soon listings. All righty. I can't see my mouse. Hold on one second. When I'm doing it, editing, and you guys aren't seeing what I'm doing, it's not allowing me to see the mouse. Let me see. All right. There we go. So now it's a clickable link there in the slideshow for you directly to the coming soon listing form. All right. Free offerings. Oh, wait, by the way. No advertisement or sign may indicate that a property is sold until the sale has closed and title, meaning ownership, has transferred, right?
Yep.
I want you to write underneath that or above it, see page where it says title. I want you to write page 349 under the word title.
Page 349.
Page 349. I want you to write that right under the word title. And temporarily, I'm going to skip to the next slide, which talks about the word title, because we mentioned the word title there, and we kind of like didn't even pay attention to it. We were just talking about the word sold. Does anybody know what title is? Title is a word that means ownership. If you look at the slide up here, can you see it?
Property. Ownership.
As a matter of fact, snap a picture of this slide. Study this slide.
Mhm.
It'll be on exams, but it's not until chapter 21. So there is no document in real estate called title.
Mhm.
No document. Title is just a word that means ownership. It's not like your car title. That's your piece of paper that indicates that's your ownership, right? Your bill of sale. They refer to it as a title.
Mhm.
There's no such thing as title in real estate. Title's just a word that means ownership. Okay? So how do we transfer ownership or title in real estate?
To a deed, right?
Through a deed. So a deed is a document used to transfer title. Look, I have two definitions of a deed here. Okay? I say explain two different ways, but you know what? I'm going to reword that to say there are two definitions that mean the same thing. Let me put it up there so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. Two different ways to define what a deed is, but saying the same exact thing. All right. So basically right here, a deed is a document used to transfer ownership, but is not proof of ownership.
Mhm.
Okay. That's the dumbed down, simple, stupid definition, so that everybody can understand what we're talking about first. So a deed is a document used to transfer ownership, but is not proof of ownership. Now, the more learned sounding definition is a deed is an instrument used to convey title, but is not evidence of title. Ooh,
Yeah.
fancy, huh?
Yeah. Mhm.
Look, a deed, a document is another word for instrument, or an instrument's another word for document. Convey is another word for transfer. Evidence is another word for proof. Title is another word for ownership, right? So it's saying the same exact thing, isn't it?
Yes.
Mhm.
So which definition you think they're going to use on exams? The simple way, or you think they're going to start getting all technical on you?
Well, they should do it the simple way.
Yeah, but they're going to use the learned definition.
Yeah.
So it's going to, so when you're taking exams, you're going to be hearing instruments and conveying and evidence of title, and you're going to be trying to think like, it's so confusing, you know? Just try to define the words in your head as you're reading it. Where it says a deed is an instrument used, you know, instrument's another word for document, conveys another word for transfer, evidence is another word for proof, title's another word for ownership. It really is kind of simple. Okay? But I know all these new terms flustering around, and you're trying to think so formally of this new business venture you're trying to learn about. I know it kind of gets confusing. Now, so a deed is a document that's not just used to transfer ownership, but it could also be used to transfer one's rights or interest in real property as well, like the air rights, mineral rights, subsurface rights, or a partial ownership rights. Okay. In chapter 19, we're going to learn about the 4 different types of deeds used in New Jersey. Oh boy. Yes, we'll get to that. Actually, you know what? Let me give you a cross reference on this slide to that. The 4 types of deeds. I'll give you a page number here. Page 325. Let me exit from this for a second. Give you that page 325. Page 325. And here we go. So, deed on page 325. There are 3 different ways to define the deed. All right. Now, ownership is transferred upon the delivery and acceptance of a deed itself, which does not need to be signed or dated by the buyer unless the buyer records the deed in the public records. Okay. So, when does the ownership transfer? Upon delivery and acceptance of the paper, the deed itself. The seller needs to sign the deed, but the buyer doesn't, and the deed is still valid. Deeds don't need to be dated because when does the transfer of ownership take place? When they give it to you. So the date's irrelevant that you wrote on the paper. Okay. Now, before a buyer can record the deed in the public record because they want to record their interest, that they're now the owner of the property, they do have to sign it. But before they sign it, their names have to be acknowledged. What is an acknowledgement? It's making sure that the signature is genuine to prevent forgeries. They need to look at your ID. Like you take it to a notary public who witnesses your signature, and they check your ID first, right? Okay, that's what an acknowledgement is. An acknowledgement is to prevent forgeries. It's somebody witnessing that the signature is genuine. They either check your identification or they verify that they know you personally. Okay. Now, recording a document means to add it to the public record. In all the county hall of records, in the county hall of records. So in the county where the land is located, anytime you add a document to the public records, it's there forever. It can never be removed. For instance, let's just say that you owe somebody money and they find out about that you own a house and they put a lien on your house. What's a lien? It's a financial claim. It says that this person owes me money. And I found out you own real estate. So I'm going to put a lien on your house that basically says that, go ahead, try to sell the house. Who's going to want to buy your house with a lien on it that says that they're going to be responsible for paying it back now? So this is a way to try to ensure that you're getting repaid, because if that person ever tries to sell the house, the lien needs to be paid back, right? So where would that lien be recorded? Well, where are your ownership documents recorded? It's not in the city courthouse, it's in the county courthouse. Every county has a seat where all the municipalities in that county have all the property ownerships records are kept in the county courthouses. So anytime you want to add a document to the public records pertaining to ownership of real estate, like adding a lien, it's added to the public records in the county courthouse. Okay, we call that recording documents. When we add a document to the public record, we're recording it. Now let's just say that you paid off the lien that's on your house. Do they remove the lien?
They should.
It would.
Hold on a second. I just told you that when you add a document to the public record, it's there forever. It's there forever.
It's going to be there. So it's like a tarnish.
That's crazy.
It's a blemish.
Wait. So how does anybody know that you paid it off then? Because they just add another document called a satisfaction of lien that says that the lien had been satisfied. But this way, somebody who's searching the public records can see, okay, there was once a lien on the property. Oh, but that lien was paid off. Okay. But by doing so, if you never remove documents from the public record, if they're always there, you could do a complete history of the documents pertaining to ownership of real estate. And if you wanted to research that and find out the complete history, we call that a title search.
Search, yeah.
What does title mean? Ownership.
Ownership.
So it's doing a search of all the records pertaining to related to the ownership of this property.
Mhm.
Does that make sense now? See how I'm translating the words in my head? I'm saying them out loud to you. You know how my translation process from real estate to English works. Okay. But this is how you should do it when you're taking an exam. You know, title means ownership. So a title search, a search of ownership documents. Okay, makes sense, right? Now, if a deed is not evidence of title, proof of ownership, what is? Well, there are 4 evidences of title that can be found on page 349. Let's temporarily go to page 349. We're going to highlight something there and write and pencil something in. Page 349. And let me know when you're there.
There. I'm there.
All right. Page 349, everybody there?
Yes.
All right. So you see where it says evidence of title down towards the bottom? At the end of that first sentence, it says evidence of title in bold. Just highlight evidence of title. And then highlight the sentence below it. There are 4 generally used forms of title evidence. And then just highlight the numbers straight down. Abstract of title, title insurance policy, torrent certificate, and certificate of title. And underneath it, highlight a deed is not proof of title.
You okay?
Everybody got that highlighted now? All right. So then where you already highlighted, pull your pen out now, where it says there are 4 generally used forms of title evidence. At the end of that sentence, put a slash and write proof of ownership. That's what title evidence is, right? Proof of ownership. And then next to number 3, torrent certificate, I want you to write not used in New Jersey. Okay? All right, I'm not going to go over everything here right now because this is chapter 21. It's a lot of conversation here, so I don't want to get too deep into this. But I like to go over these 4 evidences of title because you need to know them for exam. So now that we've gone over this stuff, and we'll go over it again. But when we do our daily reviews, I may mention it from time to time just to see if you guys are studying it now, okay? Because it's good to know. So what is title? It's a word that means ownership. How do we transfer ownership?
By deed.
By deed. Is a deed proof of ownership?
Nope.
No.
What is?
Abstract of title.
An abstract of title with attorney's opinion. Stop there. Let me explain what it is really quick. An abstract, let's look at that word for a second. When you guys get car insurance for your car, doesn't the insurance company first want an abstract of your driving record?
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
History.
It's a history, correct. So abstract of title is a complete history of the documents pertaining to ownership of this property. And then it's given to an attorney who examines it to determine whether you have good title or not. That's free of any liens or encumbrances. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, a certificate of title is the next form of ownership, proof of ownership, which is often not even in writing. It's just a verbal statement. Often the attorney searches the public records themselves and then tells a bank, a lender, I searched the public records, they got good ownership. And then the bank will take that as affirmation that you have good title, and they'll believe that that's proof of ownership, and they'll release the funds so that the buyer can purchase the property. Here's one that's used more often in New Jersey. Title insurance policy. Before an insurance company gives you title insurance to insure you that the title is good, they have their own abstractor on staff. This is somebody who goes down and searches the public record. They make a list of all the documents pertaining to ownership in chronological order according to date that could be found in the public record. And they examine it to make sure that there's no liens on the property, no encumbrances. What's an encumbrance? I keep saying that, encumbrances. What's an encumbrance? An encumbrance is anything that makes it harder to move. Or in regards of real estate, anything that makes it harder to sell. Here, let me give you a visual so that you can remember the word encumbrance, okay? If I jump on your back, are you encumbered by my weight?
I am.
Yes, anybody is. All right. You're encumbered by my weight. So does it make it harder for you to move?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Maybe.
But can you still move?
Yeah.
Yes, it's just a lot harder to with my weight on you, right? So that's what an encumbrance is.
How is
So-
it an obstacle?
Now, without talking about the different types of real estate encumbrances, let me just ask you in an abstract way. If real estate's encumbered by something, can you still move it, meaning sell it?
Yeah.
Sure. It's just a lot harder to. See how we learned that? And we don't even know we haven't even discussed any types of real estate encumbrances yet. Well, liens, if there's a lien on a property, which is a financial claim against the property, would that make it harder to sell a property that has liens on it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You would want that seller to first pay off those liens, right?
Yeah.
But can they sell a property that has liens on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just makes it harder to, right? What about physical encumbrances? The neighbor built the shed, but it's over the property line. It's on your property. Would you want to buy a property where the neighbor built their garage or their shed on your property?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want that headache.
Yeah, most people don't want that headache. You're going to want that addressed before you purchase it. So you want the seller to deal with that first.
Right.
But the
right.
seller's like, I ain't fixing that. You buy it the way it is. Most people don't want to deal with it. So that's going to make it harder to sell, right?
Yes.
All right. So I'm just saying, but can you buy it that way? Sure. But would you want to is the question, right? So that would definitely be an encumbrance. What about easements? An easement is a right to enter the land of someone else for a purpose.
Oof.
Easements, if somebody
Yeah.
else has a right to enter your property, to cross it for some reason, you don't want nobody coming on your property. However, easements, they run with the land. That means that when you transfer ownership to one person to the other, that right transfers too. So that person still has the right to walk over your property. Does that make it harder to sell a property?
Yes.
Yeah. Could it devalue the property?
Yeah.
Any kind of encumbrance?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. And then lastly, we have a Torrens certificate, which is not used in New Jersey. A Torrens certificate is, it's like a central registry of record keeping that anytime we have 21 central registries of record keeping in the state, one for each county. But a Torrens certificate is like there's a central registry of record keeping in the state that anytime that there's a transfer of ownership, it must be done at that central registry so that it is in the public record. New Jersey doesn't require ownership documents be added to the public record, but it's highly recommended that they are. Okay. So we don't have a Torrens certificate here, but some other states do have it. So we still need to know it though, because this is just some of the general real estate law or practices. All right.
Isn't
Now-
I'm sorry, isn't this on the exam, that question? Which one is not used in New Jersey? Do you
They
know?
could, yeah, that could be a question.
Yeah.
Which one of these 4 evidences of title is not used in New Jersey?
Okay.
Or they'll just throw, or they could say, what are the 4 evidences of title? And then they'll give you a multiple choice with a bunch of random words there, you know? Or they'll say, which one of these is not evidence of title? And they'll put 3 of these options there and then 1 obscure thing. Okay. Now, title insurance policy is the one that's more common in New Jersey. So what is it insuring against? Well, let me see. What could also be an encumbrance? I'm going to give you another type of encumbrance. Okay. The 2 parents died and there's 3 children. They left the property to their 3 children. One of the children is an estranged child, meaning that guy, nobody knows where he is. That guy took off. Nobody knows where he is. He's gone. So the 2 children that are around that inherited the property sell it. Wait a minute. Doesn't this create a cloud on the title? When I say
Yeah.
cloud on the title, think of a dark thunderstorm cloud hovering over one house. Right? I want you to have that visual of a thunderstorm cloud hovering over one house. Would you want to buy a house with a thunderstorm cloud over it?
Nope.
No, you want that sunshine in, right? You don't want it always cloudy over your house and thundering and raining, right? But this is a dark cloud that's hovering over the house because one of the owners of the property never signed the deed to transfer the ownership. Is there a possibility that someday he could step forward and claim his ownership?
Yeah.
I never want. What do you mean you sold mom and dad's house? I wanted that house.
That happens a lot.
Well, where were you all these years? Well, it doesn't matter. I was one of the owners. How did you sell it without me signing? And he could take that guy to court. And guess what? You got to turn it over.
Yeah.
Now, what does that guy do then? Well, he either has to sue the brother and sister to get his money back, or if he got title insurance and title insurance missed the fact that there was a 3rd sibling that was a rightful owner, first of all, they wouldn't have insured the property because they would have caught that.
Mm-hmm.
But if they didn't catch it, well, then they will pay off what's remaining on that guy's mortgage loan from the bank, and then they will pay back the guy any money he put down to purchase the property.
Oh, wow.
So that's what title insurance insures. That's probably the best
Yeah.
form of proof of ownership, right?
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like combines number 1, but also gives you a financial, breather, I guess, financial, bed to lie on that you don't have to
Right.
worry about losing anything,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So going back to our slideshows and going back to page 21. Any offer of a free item or service must be genuinely free and cannot be contingent upon any purchase or listing of property. A free offer cannot be linked to a lottery, contest, game, or drawing either. Yes, we live in New Jersey. I think the Gaming Commission would have a problem with that too, right? We're the most highly regulated state in the land. You know, some states you could actually sell real estate through a lottery. You could hold a lottery and sell it. Not New Jersey. Mm-mm.
Not New Jersey.
Nope. So, but can you ever offer anything for free as a real estate agent to the public?
If it's across the board.
If it's to everybody, look, we held open houses, right? We offer water, soda, cookies to anybody who walks in that front door, right?
Yeah.
All right. What if there's a kid that's skating by and he comes into the open house? Do you have to give him soda, water, or cookies?
No.
Yeah.
No.
He came into the open house. I
He
mean,
shouldn't
but
be
he's a
in there.
kid.
It's not contingent upon them doing business with you. You can't say you can't get this because you're not shopping for a house. So what? Anytime you offer anything for free to the public has to be genuinely free with no strings attached, not contingent upon that person doing business with you.
But that's a kid. Why would a kid be allowed to be in there unless it's with a parent?
Well, because you open the house. What is an open
Not
house?
for a kid, not
It's
for
where
a
you
minor.
open the front door for the public to walk in.
No, not for a minor.
So now I know where to go get snacks.
Because you can be
every day.
responsible if something happens to that
Wait,
kid.
hold on a second. You hear what he just said? Who said
What?
that?
You
Now I
know-
know where to go get snacks.
At
Internet? Okay, figures. Well, yeah, you're right. You know, you got a hot day, you're hungry, you're thirsty, maybe. Well, not all open houses have snacks and drinks, but you get the good ones. You know, go to a nice neighborhood where they got them. I bet you those real estate agents got a spread out there.
Yes,
You
they
got
do.
chopped up
Yes, they
subs.
do.
We got some.
Yes.
We got some soda. Hell, some of them even got wine. You know,
Yep.
I wouldn't go that far, but you
Yep.
know, you get some of them. They could get a good spread going out there for you. You know, if that's the case, walk right in, eat their snacks, take their drinks, and hit the road.
And hit the road.
No, you have to have
Not
a
a damn
bouncer
thing they
over
can say
there.
about it.
So Bobo just coming off the block. And I'm hungry.
If I was homeless, I'd be hitting up the open houses.
That's good.
Hey, you got to know the law, right? It's the law.
I wouldn't let kids in, no. No
Some
children.
of them know too. Them homeless people, they know. Some of them, I'm sure. They're very smart people.
Well, that little kid comes in and says, hey, I want some of those free milk and cookies that you got over there. If you're offering them for free, then you
Have to
gotta.
give it to 'em. Yeah.
No. You don't know if they're allergic to those cookies.
Well, then don't offer them.
Yeah.
All right. Anything that you offer for the public, you have to offer it free to everybody, not contingent upon them doing business with you. That's the bottom line. So, can you offer anything for free to the public? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But it has to be offered to everybody, but with no strings attached. You need to know this for exams. Okay. Can you offer a free appraisal to the public?
As long as it's to everybody.
How much do appraisals cost?
Appraisals are expensive.
They are, but
Well,
if
okay, well then hold on one second. First of all, we can't offer free appraisals to the public because we're not appraisers. We can't
Okay.
do appraisals.
so if my brother is a
And if you're buying them for other people through another company, then you're going to have to state that you're offering them free to everybody. But hold on one second. If you're going to be doing that, make sure that you let me know, because I'm going to send all my clients over to you so that you can pay for their appraisals, but they're going to be doing business with me.
No way.
Mm.
Yeah, what happened? Change your mind now?
Yeah.
No.
All right. So we don't offer free appraisals, but we can offer a free CMA. That's a comparative market analysis.
Yeah.
It's similar to an appraisal, but we should never call it such. We should never call it an appraisal. A lot of agents, especially new agents, get lazy. And instead of explaining to people that it's similar to an appraisal, but it's not an appraisal, it's how we help people price properties. It's very similar to an appraisal, but we can't call it an appraisal. And it should not be considered as such, because appraising is a licensed profession that's done by a licensed appraiser, and we're not appraisers. Okay, but we could do the same type of work and offer a comparative market analysis or a pricing analysis, or call it whatever the hell you want. Just don't call it an appraisal. Okay. Now, we offer CMAs to the public and we offer BPOs to the banks. That stands for broker price opinion. You know what? Let me make a little notation there next to that on the slide. Yeah. This thing always does that. Here we go. We offer to the public, and these are offered to lenders. So sometimes the lenders, they maybe somebody's getting a refinance in their house or something, and instead of doing an appraisal and paying for an appraisal to get done, they want us to do a BPO for them. They want us to go do some sort of a pricing analysis. It's a little more advanced than a CMA, a little more math involved. They want to know about the market conditions. We take pictures and all that stuff of the house, of down the street, etc., depending on what type of BPO they want us to do. It's a little more advanced than a CMA, and but it doesn't contain a lot of information that a CMA does. Okay. Comparative market analysis can include information like expired listings and homes currently on the market. A broker's price opinion would only have properties that have recently sold in the area, and just like an appraisal would. And market conditions, is the market increasing, declining, or remaining level? And what is the percentage of increase, decline, etc.? You know, there's a lot of information like that that would be put into a BPO. And banks would pay us for it. But wait a minute. We can make a quick buck by doing BPOs and selling them to banks? Yep.
Oh, wow.
Wait a minute. Who can pay you?
The broke. Oh.
You can only be paid by your broker. You can't be paid by a bank. You can only be paid through your broker.
The broker.
So if you're, can I lose you guys? Okay. So if you're going to be doing a BPO, you cannot receive compensation directly from the bank unless your broker allows it. Some brokers may say, hey, BPOs are also work. They've got to be split. The commission's got to be split the same because you're doing it under my name. You got to see what your office policy is.
Well, yeah.
All right. Free offers. We already talked about this. We make memorandum. Free offerings, free appraisals. Oh, it's the same thing. I can delete this slide. Sorry about that. Please excuse me while I delete this slide. Boom. Go on. Back up. All right. Advertising that offers a free, so we're going to highlight advertising that offers the free appraisals, also prohibited, although offering comparative market analysis, CMA, is permissible. Then the next paragraph just talks about what you see here. It's about the LAD, New Jersey law against discrimination. The commission regulations supplement the New Jersey law against discrimination that say in no way can any realtor ever advertise in a discriminatory fashion. So ads must follow the law. Let me go to this. Ads must follow the law. Real estate agents cannot advertise in a discriminatory way. They must follow New Jersey law against discrimination, the LAD, and the federal anti-discriminatory laws, which I'm not going to get into here because that's chapter 4. All right. Specific commission rates. Highlight any advertisement that mentions a specific commission rate or amount must also state that in New Jersey, all commissions are negotiable.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? It means that we don't engage in illegal price fixing. No, that's a violation of the federal Sherman Antitrust Act that we learned about earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, commission rebates. The next section on commission rebates. In early 2009, a law went into effect that basically allows real estate agents to offer rebates to buyers of a primary residence. The rebate has to be a direct reduction of the commission from the brokerage before they get their commission. It could be offered as a credit or a check at closing to the buyer. It has to be in writing from the start of your business relationship with that buyer that you're offering a rebate to them. And you need to advise them to consult with a tax professional about in regards to receiving that rebate. And then it must be disclosed to all parties in the contract that you're offering a rebate. Now, the way that I would do it is this, okay? I was one of the first brokers to offer rebates to buyers once this was initiated in the state. There's still not a whole lot of brokers that offer it, but there are some now, there's more. So I suggest that if you're offering rebates to buyers, you don't do it in the contract. You do it after the offer's been accepted, and then you notify the buyer's attorney so that they could add it into the attorney review afterwards so that all parties are aware that the buyer is getting a rebate. The reason why I don't do it during contract negotiations is because if the seller knows that I'm sharing my commission, giving money back to the buyer, then they know that the buyer could afford more and they're going to want more. All right. So I don't want that. I want the buyer to get the money if I'm offering them a rebate so that they could spend it on buying a couch or something, right? So rebates may not be dependent on a lottery contest game or chance or drawing. If you're offering rebates, you got to offer it to everybody. Only a broker can offer a rebate. So basically, if you're a real estate agent and you want to offer rebates to buyers, you got to find out if it's against your broker's office policy or not to offer rebates. If it's not one of the services that they provide, then you cannot offer a rebate. Would you want to offer a rebate? Would you want to offer a rebate?
You have to find out from your broker first if
Well, I
that's,
would have
Yeah,
to
but
ask-
I'm asking you, would as a individual agent, would you want to give rebates to buyers?
Oh, too much of a headache.
Now keep in mind, it's also going to be a direct reduction of your commission before you're split with your broker. So your broker is splitting that rebate too. So that's coming out of the commission before the office gets it. That's before you're split even with your broker.
I don't know.
broker be pissed off.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
no.
broker may be pissed off. That's why not all brokers offer rebates, you know. But let's say your broker does allow it. Would you want to offer a rebate?
Maybe.
Maybe what? Depending on what?
On the listing price, if it's like
Right,
$1
the
million
situation.
or something.
Things
If I could afford it, I mean, I don't want to put myself in, I don't have money to just give away like that right now.
All right, so
No, I wouldn't do the rebate.
you wouldn't?
It's coming out of my commission. I
So-
mean, it may be good to drive business because now you're making a name for yourself, you know, but I don't know. I probably would have to think about that.
It's not really about making a name for yourself. The way I look at it,
depends on the situation. Where you at the time?
now some of you were saying, well, you know, it depends on the value of the house. You know, if it's $1 million, I may offer a rebate.
Mhm.
Why would you offer a rebate to somebody for $1 million, but not for a $250,000 house?
Because you get more
You
commitment.
can afford it. You probably, you're getting more.
Get
in
more
commission.
money in from $1 million.
So you want to give
Is
back.
the $1 million person really going to need your rebate?
That's
No.
true.
Oh, right. No, not at all.
If they got it like that, I don't think that
That's
they're
what
sweating it
buying.
over the couple pennies
Well,
that you're going to be giving them.
That's like the average cost of a house in New York anyway. So
Hey, I was just telling you about a
Poor
plot
or
of
rich?
land in Ocean County that was over, it was $1.5 million.
Ooh, that's a nice
It
sale.
wasn't even a house there. It was just a piece of sand. Think about that for a second, right? Here, when would it make sense to offer rebates?
The people who
Here, let me
need
get
it.
real with you for a minute. when would it make sense to offer a rebate? Let me ask you a question. If another agent from another state calls up your office and you pick up the phone and they say, hey, listen, I got a guy that's looking to buy a house over there in New Jersey in your area. Will you accept the referral? I'm going to refer you business. I got a buyer who's looking to buy a house. He's looking to buy a house there. Will you accept the referral from an outside agency?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, it's found business, right? You wouldn't have had it otherwise. It's a serious buyer. Another agent's calling you and telling you, I got a legit serious buyer here. They're looking to buy a home. Do you want the referral or do I give it to another agent?
Want the referral.
You want the referral, right? Well, wait, you think they're just giving it to you for free?
Got you.
No.
Okay.
The referral fee is going to be 25%. That's probably the average that's out there. Okay. 25 to 35% of whatever the total commission is.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is I do offer rebates. I'll offer up to a 25% rebate to buyers, but I only do it at open houses.
Mm-hmm.
People come to open houses, they're in, they're out. If it's not a property they're interested in. How could you try to grasp their attention a little bit? Well, when they're there, you could say, hey, listen, if you're interested in buying a house, it doesn't matter if this one or if it's one that's listed by another company. If you buy it through me, I'll give you a rebate, a part of my commission back at closing. How's that sound? Anybody else offering that to you? Probably not.
Good.
Did I just increase my odds of getting more buyers to want to work with me?
Yes. Good.
Yeah.
Smart.
Am I bribing them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am. Damn straight, but it's legal. So why not?
Yeah.
Well, you bribing them openly.
Yeah, I don't care. It's a legal bribe, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to bribe you to be my customer.
Yeah.
It's legal. Why not do it? If your broker allows it, do it.
Yeah.
It's found business that you wouldn't have had otherwise. Because otherwise, that person's walking through the open house. Sorry, not interested in that one. I'm gone.
What you
Right?
said? What was the percentage?
I'll give a 25% rebate. That's the same thing that you're going to be given to a real estate agent that calls you up and says, hey, you want a referral?
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, check this out, though. You have to notify everybody in the transaction that a rebate's being offered. That includes the buyer's lender. And they could say no.
Who can? The lender?
The buyer's lender can. Because certain loan programs don't allow rebates. And if that happens, then you're just going to have to keep that whole commission.
Oh, well. Hey.
Yeah, listen, I've had this happen before and more than one occasion. And I remember the first time that it happened to me that I was offering the buyer a rebate and they were excited over getting that rebate. And I had to tell them because their mortgage rep called me up and told them, hey, listen, they can't get that rebate. The loan program doesn't allow it, you know? And they made me break the news to them. I mean, I shouldn't have. I should have had them do it.
Yeah, right.
I was trying not to laugh in their face that I got to keep all the money because I was all giddy about keeping the money, you know? And I was like, yeah, that rebate.
Why did they make you do
I'm going to have to keep it all. You can't get any of it, you know? I mean, I tried to give it to you, but your lender's not allowing it, you know? I mean, I really wanted to give it to you. You know, try not to laugh now, you
That's
know,
not right, Victor.
try
That's
not to
wrong.
smile in their face. Yeah, but you know what? You get excited because you're getting to keep that much more money in your pocket, you know?
Yeah.
But you could have,
But still, I felt bad for them because I'm like, you know, it is messed up. It is messed up. I offered them the money and I wanted to give it to them, but their lender said, you can't.
Your lender shut you down.
They shut me down. I really wanted to give it to you, but now I
I
got
would
to
have
keep
had
it
the
all.
lender tell them, you tell them.
Yeah. I should have said, let you tell them. I was like, I'm not breaking that to them. I should have had them, tell it to them, you know? But instead they called me up and told me, and I was like, oh, son of a.
My 25%.
Yeah, they were kind of pissed, and I was there trying to explain to them, like, listen, I want to give you the rebates, just
I want
your
you
lender
to
won't
have
allow
it.
it. Certain loan programs won't allow it. So it's the loan program that you chose that, they just
That's
don't allow it. I don't know. It's the law. I just do what they tell me. I really wanted to offer you the rebate. I wanted to give you that money, but it's illegal for me now.
Can't break the law,
I can't break the law.
right?
I got to keep it all.
That is so, you guys are bad. It's nice to give sometimes.
It is, but it's
Better to
messed.
give than receive.
But you see how messed up that just was, and how hard it is to tell somebody that, because you're kind of like, well, I get it now.
They wouldn't have put me out there like that, because I would have been on the phone. No, we're gonna do a 3-way. We're gonna do something. Put you on speakerphone because
It's not me. I'll still give it to you if it's allowed, but I'm not going to break the law. Because it's not me that gives it. It's a direct reduction from my commission.
Exactly.
Before I get my commission at closing, the closing agent has to take that money out.
That's why
Not me. And they're not going to do it. Look, I'm okay with them giving it to you, but they're not going to do it. I'm just the bearer of the bad news here.
They didn't believe you.
Well, no, she believed me because, she believed me. I was a good agent to her. She trusted me and everything. I was put in a very awkward position there.
Awkward, it is.
That's why you should have got on that phone.
Yeah, that was, but you the right one. See, you could do that. I'd be like, I would have got on the phone too.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, I sensed myself like trying to stop cracking a smile, because I know this lady's getting pissed. So I'm trying not to smile in her face. And like, even if I feel like a crinkle of my lip going up, I don't want to, I don't want to do that, because that's just mean.
You did not want to give up that.
That's just mean, Oh, look, okay, so I gave you guys a perfect example of when you would want to offer a rebate, right? Where it makes sense to.
Yeah, that does
okay?
make sense.
Yeah.
Especially since has anybody here ever been to an open house?
Yeah.
Yes.
What's the first thing that the agent has you do when you go into an open house before you can walk around the house?
Sign your name. And
You gotta sign in, right?
Email.
So how many of you gave your real name? How many of you made it legible? Were they asked for your phone number or email? Did you change a digit?
Maybe not the email.
Okay.
Just the name.
Yeah.
Or the phone number. Where it asks for phone number or email or your name. Yeah, listen, I've looked at my sign-in sheets at open houses. We're required to have sign-in sheets at open houses.
Mm.
The reason why is because it's for security reasons. If something goes stolen.
Property.
Now, a lot of times agents use them for follow-up and to maybe market to these people and stuff. Yeah, you can use it for all that too. But the main reason why we're required to is for security. If jewelry or money or laptop or something goes missing, we're responsible for that, So we got to have that sign-in sheet there so that we could call the police and turn over that list now to the police, and the police can investigate.
But if
if the person put a wrong name there or it was illegible, look, I looked at my sign-in sheets in the past before. Do you know I've had some very famous visitors at my open house? I've had Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck attend my open houses before.
Yeah.
I really have.
Yep. What about? Don't you have to ask for ID nowadays?
I was about to
No, my suggestion to you. That's what I was just about to tell you.
I would.
I suggest, first of all, most people, I can't even read their writings. Most people, they're sloppy, or they write in a way that they were never taught cursive because they don't teach it in school no more. So people are just sloppy. If it looks like cursive, it's not, because they don't teach them that anymore. So their writing is just sloppy. All right. And I can't read it. So if you can't read their writing and you're required to have a sign-in sheet, isn't it smarter for you to sign them in?
Yes, it is.
Yep.
And how about you check for their ID?
Yeah.
Can you check somebody's ID when they come into an open house?
Yep.
Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, I've had people that come in here and say, well, no, wait, that's discriminatory, isn't it? How is it discriminatory? I'm asking everybody for it.
It's not.
You know?
Security reasons.
Now I'll usually ask people in this class, have you ever been to an open house and the agent asked for your ID?
Yeah.
Most people say no, it's never happened. And if it did, it's probably one of my students, because I always teach them this. Now, Now, I'll ask you, what would be your response if you go into an open house and the agent asks to see your driver's license or your ID, other than, oh, I left it in my car, you know?
Give it to them. Man, Bill.
I mean, today,
Well, you'd give it, you know what, you're
Not a big
reasonable.
deal.
Yeah, but you're reasonable.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've had people that told me in this class that they'd be like, why you need to see my ID? You know, it's like, oh boy, here comes the attitude. What do you mean, why do I need to see it? Because I asked for it. You want to come? Why do you need to come into this house?
I was giving it. What it, they have to. You have to turn around. What if that was their property?
yeah.
So instead, when somebody says this to me, why do you need to see my ID? Nobody ever asked me for an ID before an open house.
Well, I come from
Oh,
career
hold on.
path.
You want to see what my response is?
What?
You just saw, you did that little rubberneck thing. I'm going to show you
Yeah,
what
'cause
my
that's what
response is. I do the same thing. Look, you guys got to act. Listen, sales is a little bit of acting. All right.
Yeah.
So this is what I do. When somebody says, why do you want to see my ID? No agent ever asked me for the ID before at an open house. Really? You mean to tell me that no agent ever asked to see your ID before at an open house? Oh my God, I'm shocked. I really am shocked. I don't know what agents that you've been going to for these open houses, but I don't know how they conduct their business. But when somebody hires us to represent them, we do our best to represent them. Like this seller hired us to market their home for sale. We're opening it up, these front door, to the general public. We don't know who the people are that are coming in. We need to keep a record of everybody that came in, because if something goes missing, something gets stolen, we need to turn that list over to the police so that they could investigate.
Yeah.
So an agent who's not asking for your ID, I don't know how they're conducting their business, but you know, when you hire us, my company, or me, or one of my agents from my company to do an open house, we always ask for ID because we always represent our client's interests.
That's
And I
right.
tell you what, if you're not working with another agent right now as a buyer, I'd be glad to give you that same level of service when I represent you. Ooh, you see what I just did there?
That's right.
You see what I just did, Roberto, right?
That's good.
It's good, right? That's good. That's good, right?
Good.
I just showed them, and they're the ones that said it. I twisted what they said into
Right.
something special that I'm offering. But am I lying?
And it was professional and respectful.
Very professional.
It's 100%
Yeah.
accurate.
Or can you have a sign that says IDs for sign-in?
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't mind having the
Yes.
conversation either, because I just
Yeah.
proved the point there. You know,
Yeah,
so you could put that
really
sign
did.
up there, you know, ID required to sign in, and then I won't give them the sign-in sheet because I can't read it.
Right.
I want to see your ID. You must present your ID. And if somebody asks me, you know, why do you need to see ID? I'm going to be like, why? You never been to an open house where they asked for the ID before? I want them to say it so that I can start that dialogue.
Right.
I want to have that conversation, because then they're like, wow, this agent's doing something that no other agents ever did before.
I
At least
want to
it's
work
why
with
they're
them.
not for me,
Yeah.
you know?
Mm.
So your point, look, I told you out of that last book, what was there? In 2017, there was what, 98,000 agents in the state of New Jersey? 89,000, whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
That's a lot of other agents out there. You need to find a way to distinguish yourself from the other agents out there. And I did it just by asking for an ID.
Right.
Wow.
Did that cost me anything?
No.
No,
Nope.
no.
You're like, you want a
But isn't that a good idea?
Yes,
You want a
it is.
cookie?
Yeah. And now I'm going to take it a step further. Oh, by the way, if you buy a house through me, whether it's this house or another house out there, doesn't matter what the agent, who listed it, what company, if you buy the house through me, I offer buyer rebates too.
Yeah, double down.
Yes.
Reel them in, right?
Yes.
So when you're interviewing with brokers, if you guys want to offer rebates, you better ask the brokers that you're interviewing with, does the broker allow rebates? Because if the broker doesn't allow rebates, you can't do it.
Yeah.
Okay. But either way, you could still ask for the IDs at the open house and still do that thing, right?
Yeah.
It's not bad, right? It's not a trick or anything.
No, it's not.
It's
Oh,
good.
we're over time. We're already
Really good.
4:38.
Oh,
Sorry. Wow. Time flies when you're having fun, right?
fun, always.
Let me
I
where's
done
my
got
quote here?
comfortable. Goodness, excuse me. I'm sorry.